It is my privilege to invite Dr. T. Samuel David Ross, sir, Principal, Government Degree College, Porumamilla, to kindly grace the dais. I request Dr. D. Sailaja Garu, convener of the seminar, to kindly take her place on the dais. Ma'am, please. I also invite Sri K. Durga Rao Garu, HOD, Department of Zoology, and Organizing Secretary, to please join the dais. To invoke the positive energy and set the tone for today's deliberations, I invite P. Tejasri, Zoology students, to present the prayer song. Okay. I invite Dr. K. Babu Garu onto the dais. I invite Srinivas Rao Garu, Chemistry Head, onto the dais. Sir, please join us. I invite Head, Department of Biotechnology, onto the dais. I invite N. Madhavi Garu, Head, Department of Statistics, onto the dais. Now I request our dignitaries to kindly participate in the ceremonial lighting of lamp, symbolizing the knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment. I request Dr. D. Sridhar Garu, Senior Scientist, HCP Division, BMR Group, to kindly join the dais. Now, to invite the positive energy and to set the tone for today's deliberation, I invite MSc Zoology students to present the prayer song.
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणाधीशाय गुणातीताय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्थायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुल्हप्रवराय गुरवे गुरवलने गुरुदैत्यकलाक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्मसदाराध्याय
విజయశాంతి గారు ఏంటి మిమ్మల్ని ఇన్వైట్ చేసుకో ఎక్కడ వరకు చదవాలి ఓపెనింగ్ రిమార్క్స్ ఇవన్నీనా ఎక్కడ వరకు రాజు ఇవన్నీ ఇక్కడి నుంచా అంటున్నాను ఓవర్ Opening remarks. I now invite Dr. Ramchandra R.K. Garu, Principal, to deliver the opening remarks.
Very good morning to you all. I extend my warm welcome and greetings to all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais on the occasion of one-day international seminar on impact of climate change on aquaculture. So actually, since today is our chief guest, right from Professor Vijay Nirmala Garu, Principal Research Dean from Adikavinana University, and my good friend and Principal of Government Degree College, Porumamilla, Dr. Samuel Garu, and then industry expert Sridhar Garu, and conference, this international seminar convener, Dr. Sailaja Madam, and co-convener by organizing secretary, Dr. Durga Rao Garu, and HOD, Department of Biotechnology, Madam Madam Nageshwari Garu, and Control of Examinations and former HOD of Zoology, Dr. Babu Garu, and the person who works hard to give a right impact on this climate change on aquaculture, Srimati Vijayashanti Madam, other HODs, physics and statistics, and dear students. So very happy to participate in this one-day international seminar. Actually, as a physics man, we know the climatic situations. As per as my knowledge goes on this climate change and all, 2 degrees temperature on an average global temperature, if it is above 2 degrees, then some of the islands which we are seeing, they are going to be disappear because of leveling, sea level rises. So that may cause many adverse and disadvantages in atmospheric temperatures and all. So due to that, almost all the domains are going to be impact. So one of the sector is aquaculture. So aquaculture means generally what a layman has a thought on his mind is the main effect is temperatural changes. That means water temperature changes. So this would depend upon many factors, climatic changes. So, and the next point is sea level rising and salination also. So one of the other point which we learned, and these are all effect on this particular field, aquaculture, and especially this particular changes, definitely it has its own impact on their growth and as well as the finances which incurred on this aqua field, and also some of the pathogenic problems also arises due to temperatural changes and all, and water changes and all. These are all very important key features one has to know. Very recently, one aquaculture farm owner met me in my chamber. So last academic year, we sent some students to this aquaculture units for an internship, so which are located near Nelluru, Bapatla. Yeah, so they trained our students, and as per his words, we had to take meticulous measures on care while growing this prawns and culturing this aqua field and all. So minute changes will give you a big losses actually. A minute change in temperature, minute change in the waters, and immediately the diseases can attack, and the total field is going to be collapsed. So that means each and every day has to be monitored, and also had to take care about the weather conditions. So as per that lines, this seminar gives a right directions for our students. I can appreciate the Department of Zoology and Aquaculture. So that means in aquaculture, MSc Aquaculture, we have plenty of students, almost 30 capacity, so seats intake. So 30 generally filled up. So because the aquaculture and the related fields have its own impact in student point of view, that means job potential also. So that means, and East Godavari is the area which rich in this aquaculture domain. So that means the job opportunities also available, plenty of job opportunities are there, and as an industry expert, he can explain all the opportunities and all. And you should also know how globally the scientists or academicians working to give the best result in the aquaculture domain. So definitely this seminar give you a right knowledge on this aquaculture. I really appreciate the efforts made by the conveners and organizing secretary to conduct this one-day international seminar, and the papers who are going to present in this seminar, it will be published with ISBN book number, and also they are looking for ISSN peer-reviewed journal publications also. And for the last 6 years, the department has not come forward to take up these challenges, but this is a first for this academic year 25-26. And conducting seminar is not that much easy. A lot of efforts have to be put. And I really congratulate all the persons, those who giving, those who are working on this particular concept, and especially dear students. So please, you have to spend the entire time from dawn to dusk, and at the end of the day, you had to carry some key points and work on it. Nowadays, the AI technology will give you a lot of information, but if you want to settle in this particular aquaculture field, definitely the lectures they plan online and offline mode will give you a right directions for your future. So I wish very all the best for this conference. Thank you.
I would like to invite the co-convener of the program, M. Vijay Shanti Garu, onto the dais. Keynote address by the, it is my proud privilege to invite our chief guest, Professor P. Vijay Nirmala Garu, to deliver the keynote address on this occasion.
A very good morning to one and all. Respected Principal of Government College, Degree College, Dr. Ramchandra Garu, most dynamic Principal and Best Principal Awardee of Andhra Pradesh. The convener of today's program, Dr. Sailaja Garu, Head of the Department, all the colleagues of the dais, and my teacher and Principal, Dr. Samuel. So proud moment. And my student, another proud moment, Dr. Sridhar, and colleagues of the dais, scholars, other invitees, and dear students, press and media. Indeed, it's a great privilege for me to be a part of this international conference, and I congratulate the department for their efforts, for the teamwork, and the support of the principal. Actually, I have a call from my higher authorities to attend a program. So I'll be present in the keynote address online. So I would just greet you all. Today's conference, that is impact of climate change on aquaculture, is really an apt topic, right time. I think you have chosen this. Till yesterday you had the AI, and along with All India, you also conducted the AI impact in this college. And my topic is, which I would like to deliver, is effect of climate changes on aquaculture and role of AI in sustainable aquaculture management. Just of this, I would like to say that sitting at home, you can just monitor your pond, water parameter, the growth of the fish, the reproduction cycle, and also you can monitor the disease onset, everything sitting at home. That is with the help of the AI. That is the summary of my keynote address, which I'll be delivering online. I once again congratulate the department, the entire team and participants. I hope and wish that this platform will help you to gain some knowledge on this. And you know, the AI Summit, which was held in February 16 till today, the focus is entirely on climate change and its effect on ocean and water bodies and also the environment. And a great effort is being made completely on climate change, even at the level of to monitor even at the level of the panchayat level, not only at the urban area. So we can say that the future of AI is in the hands of the youth of Indians, because the more number of young generation is in India, and the AI has to be used by the young generation, and it is only possible with India only. So we should feel proud and we should make use of this AI in a good manner, not in a bad way. And I hope and wish that you'll gain something from this. And I thank you for inviting me and making a part of this program. And always the support will be there from the university for collaborative research, as already we are collaborative research with Dr. Ramchandra Garu. So the university gates are always open for your students. You can come for PG admission there also and for research work also. Thank you one and all.
ఇనిషియల్ రిమార్క్స్ చెప్తారేమో మిగతా వాళ్ళు హెచ్ఓడి జువాలజీ ఒకసారి సోవనర్ రిలీజ్ చేసేసారు.
It's the time for e-souvenir release. So I invite all the dignitaries on the dais to release the e-souvenir. For transforming the sustainability of the environment and to say no to paper, we are going for the green environmental practice, that is releasing of e-souvenir. In this context, we have generated a QR code. So if anyone can scan this QR code and can get the information what is there in the souvenir. The QR code is all QR codes.
You scan it and
Now it is the time for overview of seminar by our convener, Dr. D. Sailaja Garu.
with the permission of the chair and principal and my co-resource persons, please permit me to leave the stage right now as I have an urgent meeting I'm called by my higher authorities. Thank you.
Madam, please accept our felicitation. Okay. Madam. I request all the zoology faculty members to join to felicitate our Professor Vijay Nirmala Garu. Madam, thank you for accepting our invitation and gracing us today. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Memo first this.
Thank you.
Felicitations. Felicitations to all the delegates.
ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ఎండింగ్లో చేస్తారు ఫెలిసిటేషన్
ఏం చేయమంటారు చెప్పండి.
స్టార్టింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ స్టార్ట్ చేసేద్దాం.
ఓకే.
ఫెలిసిటేషన్ అన్నది స్టేజ్ కదా, మీరు రండి అండి నాకు ఇస్తారు. మీరు కూర్చొని లింక్ చూడండి, లింక్ చూడండి, లింక్ వచ్చిందా పెట్టారా?
ఆయన కోపడిపోతున్నారు భాస్కర్ మిమ్మల్ని చేస్తా మాకు
Very good morning to dignitaries on the dais and the off the dais and dear students. The International Seminar on Impact of Climate Change on Aquaculture. A very warm and pleasant morning to one and all. Respected dignitaries on the dais, distinguished speakers, faculty members, research scholars, students and participants joining us both offline and online. It is my privilege to welcome you to this one-day international seminar on impact of climate change on aquaculture. Change is an inevitable part of life. At times, change stimulates growth, innovations, and new opportunities. However, certain changes disrupt ecological balance, challenging sustainability, and expose systemic vulnerabilities. Climate change represents one such critical transformation, a global phenomena that is profoundly influencing aquatic ecosystems, fisheries resources, and aquaculture productivity. Today's seminar serves as an important academic platform to examine these emerging challenges, deliberate on adaptive strategies, and explore sustainable solutions for the aquaculture sector in the face of environmental uncertainty. Okay. Dear participants, within just a few minutes, our technical session will be start. Ladies session can attend online attend registration ఇస్తే చదవమని చదివేస్తాను ప్రొఫైల్స్
Now I would like to introduce the international speaker. Dr. Listen. Good morning, respected dignitaries, distinguished delegates, and dear participants. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Lishan, an accomplished aquaculture professional with strong academic and industrial expertise in sustainable fisheries development. He completed his master's degree in fisheries development from Hong Agricultural University, where his research focused on aquatic fishery, solar complementary culture models, and fish-vegetable symbiotic culture systems. He also holds a bachelor's degree in bioengineering from Fuzhou University with specialization in controllable ecological precision aquaculture technology. Currently, he serves as an international technical manager in the overseas marketing department at Hinter Company. His technical expertise includes industrialized intensive aquaculture, pond aquaculture systems, and nutritional feed management. Mr. Lishan is deeply committed to developing efficient, stable, and climate-resilient aquaculture models with a special interest in sustainable production systems and aquatic disease prevention strategies. We are honored to have him with us today. Thank you.
sir, can you hear me? Hello? 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 Hello, sir? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is audible. Good morning. Yes, yes.
Good afternoon to everyone. So this is Raviteja, lecturer in zoology of this college. It is a great privilege to introduce our one of the resource person, Dr. Sridhar Garu. He is an accomplished academician, researcher and innovator in the field of aquaculture and aquatic sciences with over a decade of experience in teaching, research and scientific leadership. He completed his MSc and PhD from Adikavi Nana University, where he specialized in aquaculture. His doctoral research laid a strong foundation in fish diversity, water quality management, aquatic animal health and sustainable aquaculture practices. From 2017 to 2025, he served as an assistant professor in the Department of Aquaculture, contributing significantly to academic development, research mentorship and curriculum design. He also served as a convener and member of Board of Studies Aquaculture Faculty Associate in the Office of the Dean Academic Affairs. He was twice shortlisted and attended the previous APPSC Group 1 interview, reflecting his academic excellence and leadership capabilities. At present, Dr. Sridhar Garu is working as a senior scientist SCP Division BMR Group in India, where he is actively engaged in advanced research and product innovation for sustainable aquaculture systems. Dr. Sridhar Garu has an outstanding research portfolio that includes 30 research papers in reputed national and international journals, 20 book chapters, 3 academic books and 3 patents. Recently he filed for a granted patent on a national immunostimulant for shrimp aimed at enhancing disease resistant and sustainable shrimp farming. He has presented and participated in numerous national and international seminars and conferences sharing his insights on sustainable aquaculture, aquatic animal health and innovative aquaculture technologies. Recipient of 3 prestigious awards recognizing excellence in research and academic contribution including Young Scientist Award in 2024 from Matrix Research Foundation shows his courage in research. With this brief note, now I would like to invite the great research resource person, Dr. Sridhar Garu, Senior Scientist BMR, to deliver his talk. Sir, please welcome, sir. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to introduce our resource, present today's resource person. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful words, Raviteja Garu. Today, I'm indeed delighted to be with honorable members and beloved students. Welcome you all for the international seminar on climate change impact on aquaculture practices. I would like to extend my thanks to conveners of this seminar and HOD, Department of Aquaculture, and Principal Government Degree College Ramchandra Rao sir, and resource person, respected Samuel sir, Dr. Samuel sir. Okay, everybody talking about sustainable aquaculture practices. Here the topic is impact of climate change on aquaculture. What really works in aquaculture? Climate change impact, field realities, and practical ways forward. Before I am entering into the topic, I would like to introduce about one of the India's prestigious company, BMR. Vida Mastan Rao, now he is chairman and Rajya Sabha MP. And aquaculture sector has 4 pillars. First pillar is the seed farming. Second pillar is the first pillar is the seed production hatcheries. Second pillar is the farming. Third pillar is the processing, and fourth pillar is the marketing. BMR group having these 4 pillars. We are having excellent hatcheries throughout India. In India, only company having BMC, Broodstock Multiplication Center. We are simply importing the brooders from Florida. Every hatchery simply imported the brooders from the Florida. Now the brooders cost, female and male cost is raised to $160. Till 2026 February it is only $80. Now the cost is raised to $160. Only the company having BMC, Broodstock Multiplication Center in India is BMR. We are simply importing the PL12 larvae from Florida. And we are having biosecured hatcheries, and we are having 12,000 acres of farming in Iskapalli. It is located in Nellore. And then around Nellore we are farming 8,000 acres, one farming 1,200 acres. And we are having one feed plant in Nellore. The production capacity is 150 metric tons per year. We have 2 towers, each tower producing 75 metric tons of feed. We are having different brands, Harvest Gold, Spectra, and Hybrid, as well as Barossa, low-cost feed. BMR also having fish feed also. No other company having all related fields except BMR. We are having hatcheries, we are having farming, we are having feed plant, we are having processing plant also. And we are having beautiful collaboration, international collaboration for specific pathogen-free black tiger seed, BMR and Unima Madagascar. We are having strong collaboration with this company. And BMR world-class hatcheries network and state-of-art filtration system, because BMR is the only company producing 100% standard seed to the aquaculture industry. And coming to the topic, climate change impact on aquaculture. So many times we have discussed in different platforms regarding sustainable aquaculture practices. But here, out of 84 lakhs of organisms, every organism is eco-friendly except one worst organism, that is human being. Out of 84 lakhs of organisms, every organism is eco-friendly. Whatever the ecosystem we took, entire earth, every organism has its role on this earth. But we the human beings dominated the planet and allowed the organisms in which we are interested to proliferate. In this process, many unfamiliar organisms also eliminated from the ecosystem. Whatever the ecosystem we took, the biodiversity in the ecosystem is like a network or web. This network or web is very fragile or brittle or weak. Any one of the important living being eliminated from this network, the entire network will be collapsed. Then only we should be very careful regarding ecosystems and environment as well as climate change. As sir already mentioned, even 2 degrees centigrade temperature can disrupt the entire ecosystem and increase the temperatures, what not, either unwanted rainfalls. We are facing a lot of problems in the form of temperature or smog or any other rainfalls, floods, whatever it may be. How waves, water temperature can impact? Because shrimp is an invertebrate animal. It is a small animal, but $1 billion of market happenings due to the cause of Letopenes tsunami. Because Andhra Pradesh having lot of strength towards aquaculture sector, nearly 2.1 hectares of land cultivated in Andhra Pradesh. Out of this, nearly 1 lakh is culturing in East and West Godavari. You know, the entire feed fed by the aquaculture industry to the shrimp is nearly 10 lakh metric tons. 10 lakh per year. These all companies simply producing the seed to feed the shrimp. This information is enough to realize the importance of shrimp in the aquaculture industry. But unfortunately, these temperatures, unwanted rainfalls simply affected the culture. Because this is a small animal, it doesn't have immune system like us. We are having memory cells, but shrimp doesn't have memory cells. Less immune system and not having well advanced nervous system because it is invertebrate phyla, it is an arthropod. And these temperature, whenever the temperature increases, there is a beautiful relationship between temperature, DO and BOD. Whenever the temperature increases, it simply increases the metabolic rate of the organism. Every organism will take more oxygen, it will create biological oxygen demand in the aquatic ecosystem. Because here in the aquaculture, it is the human controlled cultivation and harvesting of marine as well as freshwater plants and animals. Here, the stocking densities are very high. In 1 lakh tank, we are stocking nearly 3 lakh seed. We are stocking 50 and to 75 animals per square meter. It will create lot of stress on animal. If the climate is continuously changing, if the temperatures or rises or fall down of the temperatures, rainfall simply affect the shrimp biology in a rapid way. If suddenly rain falls, it will totally disrupt the entire aquatic water quality because alkalinity drops, pH drops, salinity drops. It will create a lot of stress on shrimp. And we are talking about water quality. Everybody, what is aquaculture? Pre-stocking management and post-stocking management. Everybody talking about these aspects. But now, these are not, of course, these are important, but these are not necessary for the aquaculture practices. Everybody talking about pre-stocking management and post-stocking management. Because pre-stocking management, the name itself indicates that before releasing the seed into the aquaculture pond, whatever the activity is taken up by the technicians or farmers, these all comes under pre-stocking management. That means from site selection to seed introduction into the pond, whatever the activity is taken up by the farmers or technicians, those are comes under pre-stocking management. We need to select good site, it must be accessible to the feed, seed, electricity, labor, water availability. These are common factors. And post-stocking management, once we release the seed into the aquaculture pond, From that day onwards until harvesting, whatever the activities taken up by the farmers or technicians, these are comes under post-stocking management. Either water quality management, feed management, water management, soil quality management, or disease management. These all are comes under post-stocking management. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows pre-stocking management, post-stocking management. But farmers are still doing aquaculture since last 40 years. But till now, farmers are struggling to do aquaculture. Because it is a gambling game. If you invest 1 crore rupees on aquaculture practices, if you get 2 crores. If you lost 1 crore. Such a dangerous field it is, but such a beauty is exist in this field. Hard truth, sustainable models and field realities. Everybody talking about sustainable aquaculture, climate smart systems, eco-friendly productions. Everybody talking about sustainable aquaculture practices. Because we have to, the sustainable, everybody talking about sustainable development. What is sustainable development? The developmental fruit should be taken by the present and future generations. Okay, if the same scenario continuing in the Andhra Pradesh, golden duck story repeated in East and West Godavari as well as Andhra Pradesh. Because we are trying to explore the aquaculture. Golden duck story repeated in not only in Bhimavaram, entire Andhra Pradesh, entire India. Because it is a livelihood sector. Millions of people depend upon the sector. Employees also earning lakhs of rupees salary. You know, aquaculture industry expert salary is more than the software salaries. They are earning 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs per month. You know the beauty of aquaculture. Because the hard truth is, the sustainable aquaculture practices, the sustainable word is totally confined to the conferences and seminars. But this is the right time. Because you people, unfortunately, in aquaculture field, I am telling truth, everybody acting as a technician, 10th fail candidate acting as a technician, ITA candidate acting as a technician, engineering graduates acting as a technicians. No science people, no real science people are not there in the field. Of course, only few. But those are not having proper knowledge regarding shrimp biology, how to run the culture. Okay, this is very important. The shrimp biology, know the shrimp biology. That is very important aspect to run the sustainable aquaculture practices. Even in the hatcheries, in the research field, Ketosiras production or the algae production, people having lot of demand in hatcheries. You know, most of the girl people, if they are having expertise in the algal cultures, they will grab the good opportunities in the aquaculture field. Respect your experiences. We need to respect the farmer experience because they are doing the culture since last 30 years. But till now, there are lot of activities are there. Yet many farmers struggle with WSSV, white spot syndrome virus, EHP, white fecal diseases, FCR problems. Everybody knows what is pre-stocking management and post-stocking management and feed stocking management. But till now, from 2022, June to till now, most of the farmers struggling these problems, WSSV, EHP, FCR, white fecal. Till now, we don't know what white fecal is. We are having modern advanced technology. We are introducing AI into the aquaculture systems. We are monitoring with the dissolved oxygen levels with the PowerMon. We are using auto feeders. Aqua Exchange is providing beautiful technologies to the aquaculture sector. For IITians, they started one startup project, you know. Aquaculture sector need AI technology now. Because farmers can monitor, sir already told you that. Aquaculture farmer simply monitor what happenings in the pond through his mobile. But till now, we don't know what is the root cause of WSSV, what is the root cause of EHP, what is the root cause of white fecal syndrome. Of course, we cannot prevent the WSSV, but with the help of biosecurity measures, we can control up to some extent. SIBA, Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture, Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Bhubaneswar, CMFRI, Kochi. Those three institutions did their research on EHP and white fecal diseases. Even though white fecal appear in the pond, we can extend the culture up to 80 count. Such a beauty is there in the research. Fundamental insight, shrimp farming, microbial and ecological management. This is very important because microbial flora is very important. We are hearing that dissolved oxygen, everybody talking about dissolved oxygen, everybody talking about temperature. What is the temperature? The optimum temperature for the shrimp culture is 28 to 32 degrees centigrade. Why it must be in 28 to 32 degrees centigrade? The pH must be 7.5 to 8.5. The DO must be greater than 4 ppm. Why? Why soil pH must be in 7 to 7.5 ppm? Sorry, soil pH must be 7 to 7.5. Water pH must be 7.5 to 8.5. Of course, aquaculture doesn't have specific science. We are simply picking some aspects from agriculture, some aspects from poultry, some aspects from veterinary. We are simply picking some aspects from some other sciences. We are developing a new science. Plants can absorb nutrients at 7 to 7.5 pH. If soil pH is 7 to 7.5, plants can easily grab the nutrients from the soil. Same principle applied in the aquaculture pond. If the soil pH is 7 to 7.5, the phytoplankton growth is very high. Okay, and the second thing is, why the pH must be 7.5 to 7.5 to 8.5? If pH alters, if pH is 7, water temperature is 16 degrees centigrade, then if 30 ppm of ammonia present in the water, nothing will happen to the shrimp. If shrimp pond pH is 7, if the temperature is 16 degrees centigrade, even though 30 ppm of ammonia present in the aquatic ecosystem or in the pond, it will not show any adverse effect on shrimp. But if the pH is 8.5, temperature is 26 degrees centigrade, 0.5 ppm ammonia will show adverse effect on shrimp immune system. Please understand, if pH rises, temperatures rises, automatically it will show the adverse effect on the shrimp. If all parameters are in optimum range, then pH is the negligible parameter. Since last 2 months, the water temperature is 25 degrees centigrade. But if the shrimp wants to take proper feed, the water temperature must be 29 degrees centigrade. This is very important aspects. 29 degrees, if water temperature is 29 degrees centigrade, then shrimp take more feed. Otherwise, so many farmers are simply complaining us, sir, shrimp won't take feed, even though we are providing feed in the check trays. Okay, and second aspect is how much feed we need to give, because we are talking about dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen levels must be greater than 4 ppm. You know, per kg shrimp per hour, it will only consume half gram to 750 grams of oxygen. 1 kg shrimp enta తీసుకుంటుందంటే only it will take 750 grams of oxygen per hour. అంటే మనకి per day it will only consume 12 grams to 17 grams of oxygen. Please keep this point in your mind. We are talking about oxygen. Oxygen levels must be greater than 4 ppm in the aquaculture pond, or 4 mg per liter in the, greater than 4 mg in the aquaculture pond. We are continuously reading in the aquaculture textbooks. But shrimp consume only 17 grams of oxygen per day, 1 kg shrimp. But why we need to produce oxygen in the aquaculture pond? Through aerators. But 1 kg of feed can consume 1250 grams to 1450 grams of oxygen. You know, if the pond depth is 1 meter, 1 hectare pond having nearly 2 tons of bacteria. One pond ecosystem having nearly 2 tons of bacteria. What it indicates? The biological oxygen demand is very high. Chemical oxygen demand is very high. Recently, one research found that if even oxygen present in the water column, if greater than 5 ppm oxygen present in the entire water column, then farmer will get 2 to 3% more yield. What it indicates? The oxygen evenness is not similar in all ponds, even though we are providing artificial aerations. Then only in the biofloc system, in the ROS system, they are acquiring good results. But the hard truth is, in India, ROS and biofloc systems are failed systems. Now one new system came into operation, that is bio-ROS system. Semi-biofloc, semi-ROS system, they are integrating these 2 systems. In that, with the help of blowers, they are simply providing oxygen. If we are maintaining even oxygen throughout the aquaculture pond, aquaculture production increasing 2 to 3%. And microbial balance is very important, high plankton, because total it is depend upon the plankton, most of the species, even though we are providing artificial feed. And the research body shows that either CIFA, CIBA, CMFRI, World Aquaculture Societies revealed this point. This is very important. Most of the companies, most of the technicians simply misguide the farmers because they are using probiotic strains. In the market, now the 90% of the companies, I am sorry to say this, they are producing fake strains. Even though Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus licheniformis, Bacillus fumilis, Bacillus nagaterium, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Saccharomyces boulardii, Nitrosomonas, Nitrococcus, Bifidobacterium bifidum, whatnot, Rhodococcus and Rhodobacter. But interesting thing is, we cannot match. If once you entered into the aquaculture field as a technician, if the product having more than 7 strains, you don't use that product. Because if you combine more than 7 strains in one probiotic, it will show antagonist effect. And so many companies, they are simply mixing Bacillus strains with Nitrosomonas strains. If Bacillus strain work perfectly, it requires 7.5 to 7.8 pH. Please understand this point. But Nitrosomonas species effectively work at 8.4 pH. Okay, we cannot maintain these 2 pH at the same time in the aquaculture pond. Once we mix the Bacillus species, if you mix the Bacillus subtilis or licheniformis or fumilis species with Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus, those probiotic strains won't work. This is practically proven, and we can deliberately say in front of any researcher. But so many aquaculture companies simply producing these combination strains. They are said that Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus, it is very difficult task to isolate the Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus strains from the water as well as soil. Even though shift PhD students also, they are trying to isolate the Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus strains from the water and soil. Yes, they can. But if you want to produce commercial level, it won't work. Okay, but these Bacillus species having capacity to degrade the organic matter, to degrade the ammonia, because there is a cycle. Because we are using feed. If 1 kg of feed wasted in the aquaculture pond, it will create ammonia. Ammonia later converts into nitrite. Nitrite is very toxic to shrimp as well as fish because it is directly interact with the immune system and circulatory system of the shrimp. If sufficient oxygen present in the water column, nitrite can convert into nitrate in the presence of Nitrosomonas. Okay, but nitrite is very toxic. But most of the farmers simply applying salt while nitrate levels is very high, greater than 0.4, 0.5, they are simply providing salt. in near Bhimavaram, there is a Endagandi farm. Farmer name is Rangaraju sir. He is not using any mineral to the aquaculture pond, only with the help of NaCl, sodium chloride and potassium chloride, KCl. They are simply running the culture. This is very important aspect. But we are simply providing minerals to the aquaculture pond. You know, 100 years back, Forchmer scientist, he revealed one aspect. But he proposed one mineral formulation based on the marine ecosystem. Marine ecosystem standard PPT, marine PPT is, salinity is 35 PPT. Based on that, he revealed one formula. But till now in the aquaculture industry, most of the experts followed that formula. That is wrong. Because based on the pond salinity, if our pond salinity is 2 ppm, 3 ppm, 4 ppm, because most of the east and west Godavari farm salinity is less than 10. In Narayanapuram area or Pattepuram area, the salinity is below 3 ppm. In Machilipatnam area, the PPT is 15 up to. In what is that? Nellore, the PPT is in between above 20 ppm. Okay, based on the PPT, we need to apply mineral. If the pond PPT or salinity is more than 15 PPT, no need to use mineral. Of course, we need to check the calcium and magnesium, potassium levels in the aquaculture pond. If the pond salinity is 2, then if we want to check the calcium levels in the aquaculture pond, 2 into 10.6. Okay, that much of calcium is enough. If 30% of 30 ppt of calcium present in the pond, that is enough. If it is magnesium, comes to magnesium, 1 ppt salinity require 39.7 ppm of magnesium. If it is come to potassium, it requires only 11.6. Please try to understand. Research revealed that in entire India, 98% of the aquaculture pond doesn't have potassium. Only Indian ponds lacking of potassium. But calcium, magnesium levels are sufficient in the aquaculture ponds. In 98%, 99% of the cases, calcium and magnesium levels are sufficient, but potassium is deficit. Try to, because shrimp blood having 21% of sodium. If we want to maintain sodium potassium channel, regularly every week we need to apply salt as well as potassium. No need to apply commercial mineral. And there is a problem with the commercial minerals, because commercial minerals having phosphorus. Phosphorus itself trigger the growth of microcystis. It is the biggest challenge to the aquaculture farmer to control the microcystis. It is not a algae, it is a bacteria, cyanobacteria. Okay, Microcystis aeruginosa. It releases one toxin called microcystin. Okay, only 2 strains having such type of capability, Bacillus megaterium and Brevibacillus parabrevis. These 2 strains are having capacity to mitigate the phosphorus effect in the aquaculture pond. If we want to control the microcystis in the aquaculture pond, first of all we need to grab the phosphorus. Only Bacillus megaterium strain having such type of capability to grab the excess phosphorus which is present in the water. And second thing is the second strain is the Brevibacillus parabrevis. Brevibacillus parabrevis, it's having capacity to mitigate the action of microcystin. It is one toxic chemical released by the Microcystis aeruginosa. And if you want to control, we need to use local strains, not other strains. If you want to control the microcystis in West Godavari, we need to isolate the strains from West Godavari area. If you want to mitigate the microcystis effect in Ongole, Nellore, Chennai, we need to isolate the strains from Chennai area. Okay, only those strains having capacity to grab the phosphorus. Of course, some farmers here simply applying turmeric and along with salt and lime. It is also showing good effect, but it is not a total remedy to eradicate the microcystis from the aquaculture pond. Okay. This is the miracle product we are BMR having. This product having only Bacillus strains. Bacillus subtilis, Licheniformis and Fumilis. No other product having these strains. Of course, along with Bacillus strains, they are using so many other strains like Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus likewise. This is very important because shrimp not having memory cells. This is the most important aspect. Okay, because here the shrimp can simply release reactive oxygen species, ROS. What it is? ROS, reactive oxygen species. Whenever shrimp is simply attacked by the virus or bacteria or some other parasites, they will simply release reactive oxygen species to suppress the action of these unwanted pathogens. But unfortunately, shrimp doesn't have mechanism. Shrimp doesn't have mechanism to control the own ROS. That is the main drawback in the shrimp. Okay, ROS, reactive oxygen species released by the shrimp. But those reactive molecules, once the action is done, it cannot go back to their systems. That is the main drawback in the shrimp. Then only reactive oxygen species can simply disrupt the shrimp immune system. This is the main disadvantage in the shrimp. We are having memory cells. We can simply control the diseases by the memory cells, but shrimp doesn't have memory cells. Shrimp immune system is very less developed. This is the main drawback in the shrimp. Reactive oxygen species, their own defense system act as an enemy to the shrimp. These are the formulators, and these are the research works done by the CIFA, Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture. Here, we need to understand, we are also filed one granted patent based on the herbal products. Okay, if we are having 4 main problems. First one is the immune system, it is lack of immune system, and second one is the Vibrio, and third one is the herbal products fermentation. And first one is the herbal immune modulator. This is very important because we need to maintain a proper water chemistry stability in the aquaculture pond, because Vibrio is the opportunistic pathogen. It is present in everywhere. It is present in the water, it is present in the soil. But the Vibrio and other bacteria load must be 1:10. If Vibrio species is 1, the useful bacteria number must be 10. And second one is the carbon nitrogen ratio. It must be 28:1. Carbon nitrogen ratio 28:1. This is also very important because feed acting as a nitrogen source, fecal material also acting as a nitrogen source, and unwanted materials, dead and decay materials also acting as a nitrogen source. If we maintain carbon nitrogen ratio in the aquaculture pond 28:1 or 30:1, it will give a boost to the aquaculture pond. To maintain that carbon ratio, we need to introduce the carbon source into the aquaculture pond. What is the carbon source? Jaggery is the best carbon source. Molasses is the best carbon source. Rice bran is the best carbon source. And groundnut oil cake is the best carbon source. Okay, we need to use nearly 5 to 10 kg jaggery per acre. We need to apply the jaggery juice along with yeast. You know, if you ferment the rice bran with yeast, if you observe the rice bran particles under the microscope, the size of the rice bran is very large. If you ferment the rice bran with Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that is yeast, if you observe after 24 hours, the size must be reduced. One particle divided into nearly 200 to 1000 particles. Saccharomyces cerevisiae having such type of capabilities to simply disintegrate the rice bran molecules. Okay, we need to use jaggery juice to increase the carbon source in the aquaculture pond. It is better to advise the farmers continuously to apply jaggery to the aquaculture pond. Some technicians in India, they are using sugar, but there is a chance to trigger the Vibrio growth. While we are applying sugar, sugar is also good, but while we are directly apply sugar to the aquaculture pond, it will trigger the Vibrio growth. Because Vibrio is always present in the water. Vibrio is the opportunistic pathogen, it is always present in the water. We need to maintain good bacteria with the help of probiotics. With the help of probiotics, we can run the entire aquaculture show. With the help of carbon source, we can run the entire aquaculture show. With the help of salt and potash, we can run the entire aquaculture show. Only I am telling salt, potash, probiotics and carbon source. Because we need to maintain carbon 28:1, carbon nitrogen ratio in the pond must be 28:1 or 30:1. We need to maintain Vibrio and other harmful good bacteria ratio 1:10, or good bacteria and Vibrio ratio must be 10:12:1. Good bacteria, if the good bacteria number is 10, the Vibrio number must be 1. If the good bacteria must be 12, the Vibrio number must be 1. Okay, the ratio must be 10:1 or 12:1 nitrogen source, because the nitrogen is continuously accumulated in the pond bottom. If the pond bottom having high sludge, it will simply release toxic gases like ammonia, nitrate and H2S. Okay, suddenly shrimp won't take feed. Then farmers cannot understand why shrimps are not taking feed, because of these toxic gases like nitrite, ammonia or H2S. H2S is the silent killer. Okay, because of these toxic gases, shrimp won't take feed. This is the main drawback, because we need to maintain carbon nitrogen ratio as well as Vibrio and other useful bacteria ratio must be 10:1. If useful bacteria is 10 in number, the Vibrio must be 1 in number. The nitrogen must be 28 and 1, the carbon must be 28. These are scientific formulators. This research done by the SIFA. Take 1 kg of turmeric, 1 kg of osimum leaves, and garlic as well as ginger and neem extract, each one of kg. We need to ferment these ingredients for nearly 48 hours. That is very important. Fermentation process to reduce the phytochemicals effect. If it is applied to the pond, it will work in a beautiful manner. And BMR having one excellent immunomodulators. If farmers doesn't have this type of technology, if they don't want to spend their energy to prepare this one, then we go for immunomodulator, that is Tacotes. It is one of the best product in India. This product containing 3 components. First one is the chlorella, second one is the chitosan, and third one is the taurine. Chitosan is an excellent immunostimulant. It is extracted from the chitin, exoskeleton of the shrimp. And second one is the chlorella. It is more rich algae like spirulina. And third one is the taurine. It is a sulfur containing amino acids. With these 3 products, we are preparing one beautiful product called Tacotes. It is excellently working in the aquaculture pond. And Vibrio control, because Vibrio is the major problem to the aquaculture farmers. Because if temperature raises, Vibrio triggers in the aquaculture pond. If you want to control the Vibrio, we need to use garlic 2 kg, neem leaf powder 2 kg, turmeric 1 kg. But we need to ferment the ingredients in a proper way. Once the fermentation is done, then only we go for the application. Okay, otherwise it will show adverse effect on the aquatic ecosystems. If we use raw materials, we can use this in feed also. We are doing some trials, and these are the Vibrio controlling products in BMR. This is the Biota Plus and Bacto Clean. All products are CA approved products, and we are simply imported from the abroad. Here we are testing the products. Okay, in the morning we need to apply Biota Plus, afternoon we need to apply Bacto Clean, along with the oxygen tablets, then we can reduce the vibrio in the aquaculture pond. And soil conditioner, because soil is the very important aspect in the aquaculture practices, because we are culturing the organisms in the earthen ponds. The water and organisms continuously contact with the soil. There is a 100% chance to accumulate the sludge in the aquaculture pond. Once the sludge is accumulated in the soil, then crop will be disrupted. For the soil conditioning, we go for the natural application, neem cake, cow dung and rice bran. Then with these ingredients, we can simply condition the farm. Okay. And soil conditioner, this is one of the liquid probiotic. Here we are using Rhodococcus and Rhodobacter strains along with Yucca. Yucca is one of the plant product, Yucca schizera plant. We are extracting Yucca from the Yucca schizera plant. We are incorporating Yucca product with the help with Rhodococcus and Rhodobacter. And gut and growth promoter, we can use this as a, what is that? Water applicant as well as feed applicant. Fenugreek, remdesivir drug, menthulu, garlic and turmeric. We can ferment these herbal ingredients with the help of jaggery. Then we can get better products, because if we want to control the white gut, this is the best medicine. Because till 2025 September, everybody thought that gregarians are main cause for the white gut. Now they revealed that gregarians should not play any role in the white gut. Okay, white gut is caused by the vibrio, white gut is caused by EHP, white gut is caused by excess feed, white gut is caused by environmental stress. Excess feed also one of the reason for the white gut. Now the farmers are facing lot of problems in aquaculture due to white gut, because once the white gut appear in the pond, it is very difficult to farmer to get more growth. And EHP also one of the major problem in the aquaculture field. With the help of fenugreek, garlic and turmeric, we can control somewhat, 90% we can control white gut as well as EHP. This is the one of the gut growth promoter and herbal mix. BioPro NHAC, no other company in India having this type of product. This is purely fermented feed. You know the technology, we are using the fish meal and soya bean meal and other feed ingredients in this feed. We are fermented with red marine yeast. Farmers are very familiar with fermentation process, because while they are using probiotics, they are using Saccharomyces cerevisiae yeast for the fermentation process. But here we are using red marine yeast to prepare BioPro NHAC. Okay, the cost is also very cheaper andi. 5 kg only 900. అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇప్పుడు ఫార్మర్ లాంగ్వేజ్లో చెప్పాలంటే, ఫార్మర్ దగ్గరికి ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ పట్టుకెళ్ళాం అనుకోండి, ఆ బ్యాగ్లో బూడిదున్నా కూడా వాడొచ్చు సార్ అంటారు. ఎందుకంటే ఇమ్యూనో మాడ్యులేటర్ కాస్ట్ ఎలా ఉంటుందో తెలుసా అండి? పెర్ కేజీ 3,500, 4,500 crores of rupees they are simply pouring in the aquaculture pond. మనకి ఇంత సింపుల్గా అంటే టెక్నీషియన్గా లేకపోతే ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ వాడండి అని చెప్పామనుకోండి, దే ఆర్ యూజింగ్. ఒక 10 acres ఉన్నటువంటి ఫార్మర్ 1 dayలో 2 lakh ప్రోడక్ట్ వాడతారు. 2 lakhs ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం వస్తే మనలాంటి వారికి 1 year అంతా సేవింగ్కి సరిపోతుంది. 1 dayలో ఒక సెషన్లో 2 lakh మెడిసిన్ వేసే ఫార్మర్స్ కూడా ఉంటారు. కాబట్టి వీ షుడ్ బి వెరీ కేర్ఫుల్. మనకి జనరల్గా అనిపించవచ్చు ప్రోడక్ట్ నార్మల్గా అని, దే ఆర్ స్పెండింగ్ అంటే క్రోర్స్ ఆఫ్ రూపీస్ స్పెండ్ చేస్తుంటారండి. ఒక 50 ఎకరాలు రైతు మెయింటైన్ చేస్తున్నారంటే ఈ స్పెండ్ క్రోర్స్ ఆఫ్ రూపీస్ మనీ. ఒక్కసారి లాస్ వచ్చింది అనుకుంటే మొత్తం మనీ అంతా కూడా వాటర్లో వేసినట్లే. దే ఆర్ నాట్ పోరింగ్ ది మెడిసిన్, దే ఆర్ పోరింగ్ ది మనీ ఇన్ ద పాండ్. 20 లక్షలు 30 లక్షలు మనీని పాండ్లో వేస్తున్నారని లెక్క. ఓకే, బయోప్రో ఎన్హాక్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ది బెస్ట్ ప్రోడక్ట్ అండి. ఇండియాలోనే ది బెస్ట్ ప్రోడక్ట్ బయోప్రో ఎన్హాక్. ఎవ్రీ ఫార్మర్స్ మీటింగ్లో నేను చెప్తాను, ఎవ్రీ ఫార్మర్స్ మస్ట్ యూజ్ దిస్ ప్రోడక్ట్. ఎందుకంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫెర్మెంటెడ్ విత్ రెడ్ మెరైన్ ఈస్ట్. రెడ్ మెరైన్ ఈస్ట్తో ఫెర్మెంట్ చేసినటువంటి ప్రోడక్ట్. ఇందులో ఏంటంటే మనకి ఒక పార్టికల్, దీని బ్యూటీ ఏంటంటే వన్స్ వి అప్లై ది పాండ్, దీన్ని ఎంత అప్లై చేయాలంటే 1 lakh సీడ్కి 100 grams అండి. 1 lakh సీడ్కి వీ నీడ్ టు యూజ్ 100 grams ఓన్లీ. 100 grams వాడితే అది ఏమవుతుందంటే ఇట్ విల్ సింప్లీ డివైడ్ ఇంటూ 10,000 పార్టికల్స్గా విడిపోతుంది. ఇట్ ఈజ్ ఆసిలేటెడ్ ఇన్ ద పాండ్. ఇది పైన ఫ్లోట్ అవ్వదు, అలాగనే కింద బాటంకి వెళ్దండి, ఆసిలేట్ అవుతుంది. మన ష్రింప్ ఫీడ్ వేసినప్పుడు కూడా ఎలా వెళ్తుందంటే పాండ్లోకి జిగ్జాగ్ షేప్లోకి వెళ్తుంది. వెనామీ కాలమ్ ఫీడర్, టైగర్ అనేది బాటమ్ ఫీడర్. ఓకే, మనం వెనామీకి ఫ్లోటింగ్ ఫీడ్ అంటే షింకింగ్ ఫీడే, కానీ అది వాటర్ కాలంలో జిగ్జాగ్గా కిందకి వెళ్తుంది. ఓకే, కాబట్టి ఇది ప్రతి ప్రోబయాటిక్స్ కూడా, ప్రోబయాటిక్స్తో మనకి ఎన్క్యాప్సులేటెడ్ చేసినటువంటి ప్రోడక్ట్ అండి. ఇది మనకి వాటర్ కాలంలో సస్పెండ్ అవ్వదు, సారీ బాటంలో సెటిల్ అవ్వకుండా ఇట్ ఈస్ సస్పెండెడ్ ఇన్ ద వాటర్ కాలం. కాబట్టి ఒక పార్టికల్ అనేది ఇట్ విల్ స్ప్రెడ్ ఇన్ టు 10,000 particles. ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఈజీ టు టేక్ ష్రింప్. ఎందుకంటే హ్యాచరీలో అప్పటి వరకు కూడా మనం PL9 తీసుకొస్తాం టు స్టాక్ ఇన్ ద ఆక్వాకల్చర్ పాండ్, అంతే కదండి. PL9 కానీ 10 stages కానీ వీఆర్ టేకింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద హ్యాచరీస్. ఆ టైంలో ఇట్ ఈస్ యాక్టింగ్ యాజ్ ఏ గుడ్ ఫీడ్, ఇట్ ఈస్ యాక్టింగ్ యాజ్ ఏ సూపర్ ఫుడ్. బయోప్రో ఎన్హాక్ చుట్టూ ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ పార్టికల్స్ అనేవి ఐసోలేట్ అయి ఉంటాయి. మనకి ఎంజైమ్ యాక్టివిటీని ఇట్ విల్ సింప్లీ ఎన్హాన్స్ ద ఎంజైమ్ యాక్టివిటీ. దీస్ ఆర్ ది BMR హెల్త్ కేర్ ప్రొడక్ట్స్ అండి. వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ 14 హెల్త్ కేర్ ప్రొడక్ట్స్. వైల్ ఫార్మర్స్ ఆర్ డూయింగ్ fermentation, they are doing some mistakes. Likewise, they are airtight closing. This is the common mistakes done by the farmers, and no stirring. They are not brewing the probiotic strains. Too much jaggery, they are adding too much jaggery into the probiotics and using metal drum. It is very important, we need to use plastic drum and using chlorinated water, using rattan mix. Generally, while we are doing fermentation, farmers must take these precautions, because in the aquaculture sector farmers are facing so many problems, as we are earlier discussed regarding WSSV, EHP and white fecal. These are the 3 main problems. While we are selecting the seed from the hatcheries, we need to conduct WSSV as well as fecal EHP test. It is mandatory. But farmers are ignoring these aspects. They are spending 35 paise to 40 paise per seed. For tiger, they are spending 1 rupee per seed. Okay, they are spending lakhs of rupees money to purchase the seed, but they are not conducting any tests while they are taking the seed into the aquaculture pond. Every farmer must do WSSV and EHP test. It must be cost of around 7,000. Okay, farmer need to spend all type of tests. While we are taking the seed from the hatcheries, we need to conduct stress test. Okay, with the help of Kinley water. With the help of Kinley water, we can conduct stress test, whether the seed quality is good or not. We simply place some seeds in the plastic tub, simply rotate the water in the clockwise direction. Okay, weak seed come towards the center. Strong seed swim against the water currents. This is the simple test. We can increase the temperature up to 2 degrees centigrade or decrease the temperature up to 2 degrees centigrade. We can increase the salinity up to 10 ppt or decrease the salinity up to 10 ppt. Or with the help of 100 ppm formalin, we can do the test. Or with the help of pure mineral water with Kinley water, not chilled water, normal water we can do. We can simply place the 100 seed in Kinley water, wait for 2 hours. If the survival rate is more than 90%, then it is considered as a good seed. While taking into the seed, we go for the WSSV and EHP test. It is very difficult, because if shrimp is affected by the EHP, it will take continuously taking feed, but growth rate is very less. Okay, the FCR must be 1:1 or 1:1.2. Okay, if we want to harvest 1 ton of product, the FCR must be 1:1 or 1:1.2. This is also very important, because we are simply telling some points regarding aquaculture practices. Everybody is talking about aquaculture, but it is not a rocket science, but it is a beautiful science. We need to understand the aquatic ecosystem biology. We need to understand the shrimp biology. We can understand soil like a farmer. We can understand water like a chemist. We can understand shrimp like a biologist. This is very important. We can understand soil like a farmer. We can understand water like a chemist. We can understand biology, shrimp biology like a biologist. Because we are doing crores of rupees market with the help of shrimp. We know we are doing crores of rupees market with the help of shrimp. We are generating lot of income. We are generating lot of employment. Because aquaculture sector play a significant role in the socio-economic development of a country, as it contributes to economic growth, food production, employment generation, and substantial foreign exchange earnings. Everybody looking towards the aquaculture sector only because beauty in its income. Only because beauty in its income. But the culture practices are not sustainable. Again I am saying, we are so many farmers in the fish farming, till now they are using antibiotics. As far as concerned of CAA, Coastal Aquaculture Authority, antibiotics usage is totally banned. But so many farmers still now using triple salt, potassium monofursulfate, sodium, so many farmers using sodium dichloroisocyanurate, so many farmers are using EDTA, so many farmers are using sanitizers. But as far as concerned of the sustainable aquaculture, we need to stop the potassium monofursulfate, that is triple salt. Triple salt must be banned in the aquaculture. EDTA usage must be very low, and sanitizer usage must be very low. Most of the farmers spending lot of money for the pond preparation, but every time, what is the main drawback in the aquaculture practices, especially in the West Godavari, they are doing the culture in the same water. In Nellore area, they are simply drain the water and flow the land. Again, they are stocking the seed in the aquaculture pond. But especially in the West Godavari, they are doing the culture in the same water, but they are investing lots of rupees money on that particular aspect. But you need to understand one specific point: pH, DO, and temperature. If you manage these three parameters in the aquaculture pond, we can simply monitor or control the aquaculture productivity up to 90 to 95%. pH is very important aspect. If the optimum pH is 7.5 to 8.5, if morning pH is 7.5, evening pH must be 8 or below 8. This is also very important aspect you need to understand. It not be 8.2, 8.3. It must be below 8 or 8. And second thing, if you maintain 29 degrees centigrade in the aquaculture pond, the productivity rate will be doubled. If you maintain ammonia and nitrate levels must be 0, H2S must be 0. And second thing, if you are giving 10 kg feed in the check tray, okay, while you are monitoring anybody visited ponds, okay, if you are checking check tray, you should be very careful, because you need to understand the entire సిస్టమ్. అంటే ఒక షిరింప్ని బయటకు తీసాక దాన్ని మన ల్యాబ్లో ఎగ్జామిన్ చేసినట్టు ఒక హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ ఎగ్జామిన్ చేయకూడదు, చనిపోతుంది. కాబట్టి వితిన్ అంటే మనకి లెస్ దాన్ 5 minutesలో దాన్ని ఎగ్జామిన్ చేసి మళ్ళీ వాటర్లోకి పంపించేయాలి. ఓకే, మీరు జనరల్గా మనకి హెపాటోపాంక్రియాస్ ఉంటుంది కదండి, దట్ ఈస్ ద మెయిన్ బ్యాక్ బోన్ ఫర్ ది షిరింప్. మీరు హెపాటోపాంక్రియాస్ని ఎప్పుడైనా టెక్నీషియన్గా వెళ్ళినప్పుడు బెండ్ చేసి దాని స్మెల్ చూస్తే సీవీడ్ స్మెల్ రావాలండి. ఆ సీవీడ్ స్మెల్ రావాలంటే మనకు సీవీడ్ స్మెల్ ఎలా ఉంటుందో మనకి తెలియాలి ఫస్ట్, అంతే కదండి. అప్పుడు మనం దాన్ని చూసామనుకోండి, హెపాటోపాంక్రియాస్ని కండిషన్లో ఉంది యానిమల్ అని చెప్పొచ్చు. హెపాటోపాంక్రియాస్ కండిషన్ బట్టి యానిమల్ హెల్త్ని చెప్పాలి. మనకి ఇక్కడ ప్లియోపార్డ్స్ లేకపోతే మనకి వాకింగ్ లెగ్స్ గురించి మనం చదువుకుంటాం, కానీ వాటి కలర్ బట్టి యానిమల్ కండిషన్ని చెప్పాలి. ఓకే, అలాగే ష్రింప్ని చూసి అది ప్రీ మౌల్టింగ్లో ఉందా, మౌల్టింగ్లో ఉందా, పోస్ట్ మౌల్టింగ్లో ఉందా చెప్పాలి. ఓకే, పోస్ట్ మౌల్టింగ్ అప్పుడే మౌల్టింగ్ అయిన దానికి మళ్ళీ ఈడిటీ ఇచ్చామనుకోండి, ష్రింప్ స్ట్రెస్లోకి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది, చనిపోతుంది ష్రింప్. ఓకే, మనం ఎప్పుడు కూడా ట్రీట్మెంట్ చేస్తే కరెక్ట్గా చేయాలి. డయాగ్నోసిస్ వర్సెస్ ట్రీట్ అనేది పర్ఫెక్ట్గా ఉండాలి. మన డయాగ్నోసిస్ ఎలా ఉండాలంటే, ష్రింప్లో డెడ్ పీసెస్ వస్తుంటాయి. మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా ఫామ్కి వెళ్తే 100 రోజుకి 100 డెడ్ పీసెస్ వచ్చినా కూడా ఫార్మర్కి ప్రాబ్లం లేదని చెప్పగలిగే ట్రీట్మెంట్ ఉండాలి మన దగ్గర. లేదు, ఒక పీసే వచ్చింది డెడ్ పీస్, దాన్ని వెంటనే హార్వెస్ట్ చేయగల అంటే యూ నీడ్ టు హార్వెస్ట్ అని వెంటనే చెప్పగలగాలి. అంటే ఆ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ మనకి రావాలి. జనరల్గా మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నామంటే ఆక్వాకల్చర్ ప్రాక్టీసెస్ అంటే ఎవ్రీబడి కన్ఫైన్ టు ప్రొడక్ట్. ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఏ విధంగా సేల్ చేశామని. ఎందుకంటే సేల్ చేస్తే 1 కోటి రూపాయల ప్రోడక్ట్ మీరు సేల్ చేశారనుకోండి, మీకు కంపెనీ 12 లక్షల నుంచి 13 లక్షలు ఇస్తుంది పెర్ ఇయర్. మీరు ఒక మార్కెట్లో 1 కోటి రూపాయల ప్రోడక్ట్ సేల్ చేస్తే కంపెనీ గివింగ్ 12 to 13 lakhs. దానికోసం ఆలోచిస్తారు. కానీ యూ నీడ్ టు ఫోకస్ ఆన్ ది shrimp biology, sustainable aquaculture practices. We need to sustain the aquaculture practices. We need to give the aquaculture beauty to the future generations. And due to the cause of climatic changes, the temperatures are continuously changing. Asalu, why the 2025 crop totally failed? Only because of the climate change. ఇప్పటి వరకు లాస్ట్ 3 crops కూడా ఫెయిల్ అండి. 95% of the crops failed. 2025 మే నుంచి టిల్ నౌ ఫిబ్రవరి 2026 వరకు 95% ఆఫ్ ది క్రాప్స్ ఫెయిల్ అయ్యాయి. ఇప్పుడే సెటిల్ డౌన్ అవుతుంది. ఓన్లీ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ది క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్. మనకు చూసారో లేదో 11 గంటల వరకు మనకి మంచు ఉండేది. మనం జనరల్గా ఇక్కడ ఈ ఆస్పెక్ట్లో ఆలోచించాం, కానీ ఫార్మర్కి తెలుస్తుంది అది. ఫార్మర్ ఎంత స్ట్రగుల్ అవుతుంటారంటే, వాటర్ టెంపరేచర్ 29 degrees centigrade గత 45 రోజుల నుంచి రాలేదండి వాటర్. మొత్తం ఏపీలో ఏ పాండ్లో కూడా 29 degrees centigrade టెంపరేచర్ రైజ్ అవ్వలేదు. దానివల్ల ఎఫ్సిఆర్స్ తగ్గిపోతాయి. ఎఫ్సిఆర్ తగ్గితే ఫార్మర్ లాసెస్లోకి వెళ్ళిపోతారు. మనకి ఇక్కడ నార్మల్గా ఉంటుంది. అంటే టు టెల్ సంథింగ్ ద ఈజియెస్ట్ థింగ్ ఇన్ ద యూనివర్స్ ఈజ్ సేయింగ్ అంటాం కదా. కాబట్టి ఆక్వాకల్చర్లో చెప్పడానికి చాలా ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది, వాటర్ క్వాలిటీ, సాయిల్ క్వాలిటీ మేనేజ్మెంట్ అని. కానీ వన్స్ యూ ఎంటర్ ది ఆక్వాకల్చర్ ఫామ్, ఒక ష్రింప్ 4 రోజుల నుంచి ఫుడ్ తీసుకోలేదనుకోండి, అప్పుడు తెలుస్తుంది మన ఎక్స్పర్టైజ్. ఏం చేయాలో తెలియదు. నైట్రేట్ లెవెల్స్ 0 ఉంటాయి, H2S 0 ఉంటుంది, ఆక్సిజన్ సఫిషియెంట్గా ఉంటుంది, ఏ పారామీటర్ మనకి ఐడెంటిఫై అవ్వదు. ఫీడ్ తీసుకోకపోతే ఫార్మర్ 2 నుంచి 3 రోజులు వెయిట్ చేస్తారు. తర్వాత అక్కడ సైంటిస్ట్ కాదు కదా ఎలాంటి వారినైనా ఫామ్లోకి ఎంటర్ చేయనివ్వరు, అంతే కదండి. ఏ డాక్టర్ అయినా సింపుల్గా మనకి వీ నీడ్ టు షార్ట్ అవుట్ ది ప్రాబ్లం. కాబట్టి చాలా జాగ్రత్తగా ఉండాలి ఆక్వాకల్చర్లోకి ఎంటర్ అయ్యే టెక్నీషియన్స్. ఫార్మర్స్ అనుకుంటారు, ఫార్మర్స్కి ఫార్మర్ ఈజ్ ద బెస్ట్ సైంటిస్ట్, హీ నో ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. మనం ఎంఎస్సి నుంచి వెళ్ళిన వెంటనే మనం ఏంటంటే అతను అడుగుతారు కావాలని, వాట్ ఈస్ ద pH, లేకపోతే సార్ 300 కౌంట్ ఉంది, లేకపోతే ఒక 400 kgs మీ ఆక్వాకల్చర్ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉన్నారు, రేపు పొద్దున ఎంటర్ అయితే ఒక పెర్ డేలో 400 kgs వెళ్తుంది సార్, ఎంత సీడ్ ఉంటుందని అడుగుతారు. ఓకే, 400 kgs మేత వెళ్తుందండి, మనకి ఎంత సీడ్ ఉండొచ్చు నా పాండ్లో అంటారు. అప్పుడు మీరు వెంటనే చెప్పేయకూడదు, సార్ కౌంట్ ఎంత ఉంది సార్ అని అడగాలి. 100 కౌంట్ 300 కౌంట్ ఉందనుకోండి, అంటే కేజీకి 300 నెంబర్ వచ్చిందనుకోండి, ష్రింప్ 18 kgs తీసుకుంటుంది పెర్ డే. దాన్ని బైఫర్కేట్ చేసి ఇచ్చుకోవాలి 4 మీల్స్గా. 250 కౌంట్ ఉంది, 25 kgs తీసుకుంటుంది. ఓకే, 200 కౌంట్ ఉంది, 28 kgs తీసుకుంటుంది. 100 కౌంట్ ఉంది, 35 kgs తీసుకుంటుంది. 100 కౌంట్ ఉంటే మనకి పెర్ డేకి ఇవ్వాల్సిన ఫీడ్ ఎంత అంటే 35. దాన్ని మళ్ళీ మీరు యావరేజ్ బాడీ వెయిట్ ఒక వీక్కి 1.5 గ్రామ్ ఉందా 2 గ్రామ్ ఉందా చూసుకోవాలి, దాన్ని చెక్ చేసి ఇవ్వాలి. ఫార్మర్స్ 40 years నుంచి కల్చర్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఓకే, నేను డైరెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చేసినవి. అక్కడ ఉంటే ఒక టెక్నీషియన్ వస్తుంటారు, ఆ పక్కన ఉన్న ఫార్మర్స్ చెప్తుంటారు, సార్ అతను వస్తున్నారు కదా అసలు ఏం రాదు సార్ అతనికి, రండి సార్ కూర్చోమంటారు. అంటే ఫార్మర్స్తో చాలా కేర్ఫుల్గా ఉండాలి. ఒక్కసారి ట్రస్ట్ పోయిందా రెండోసారి ఫామ్లోకి ఎంటర్ అవ్వలేరు. ఇక్కడ అనుకోండి నార్మల్గా మన సార్సే ఉంటారు కాబట్టి, దుర్గారావు సార్ ఉంటారు కాబట్టి ప్రాబ్లం లేదు మీకు. కానీ అక్కడికి వెళ్ళేసరికి యూ షుడ్ బి వెరీ కేర్ఫుల్. ఓకే, మనకి అంత ఆక్వాకల్చర్ అంటే అంత ఈజీ కాదండి. కానీ దాని పర్ఫెక్ట్ సైన్స్ తెలుసుకుంటే స్కోప్ ఎంత ఉందో తెలుసా అండి. పెర్ మంత్ 8 lakhs శాలరీ డ్రా చేసే వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. 8 lakhs పర్ మంత్కి ఆక్వాకల్చర్ స్కోప్ చెప్తున్నాను, ఏ ఇండస్ట్రీలో కూడా ఇంత స్కోప్ లేదండి. ఎందుకు ఫార్మర్స్ ఇంత ఫెయిల్ అయినా క్రాప్ చేయగలుగుతున్నారో ఆలోచించండి. గత 3 సార్లు కూడా క్రాప్ ఫెయిల్ అయింది, కానీ ఇప్పుడు స్టాక్ చేసేశారు మళ్ళీ. ఎందుకంటే దాని ప్రాఫిట్ చూస్తున్నారు వాళ్ళు. ఒక ఎకరం ఫార్మర్ 100 ఎకరాలకు వెళ్ళారు, అతని మైండ్లో ఏముంటుంది, ఎకరం నుంచి 100 ఎకరాలకు వెళ్ళాను, మళ్ళీ 50 ఎకరాల వరకు ట్రై చేద్దాం అనుకుంటాడు. ఇంకొంతమంది ఫార్మర్స్ 20 ఎకర్స్ అలా, అంటే అంత స్కోప్ ఉంది ఆక్వాకల్చర్లో. కానీ రీసెర్చ్లో మాత్రం గ్యాప్స్ ఉన్నాయండి. రీసెర్చ్లో 100% గ్యాప్స్ ఉన్నాయి. రేపొద్దున మై సిన్సియర్ అడ్వైస్ టు ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ, జనరల్గా ఒక ఫైటోప్లాంక్టాన్, ఒక కీటోసిరాస్ లాంటి స్పీసీస్ని, కొత్త స్పీసీస్ని ఐడెంటిఫై చేసి ష్రింప్కి ఉపయోగపడేటట్టు చేయగలిగితే, ఫీడ్ ఫార్ములేటర్స్కి, మీకు ఫీడ్ ఫార్ములేటర్స్కి, క్వాలిటీ కంట్రోల్ అనాలిసిస్కి పిహెచ్డి చేసి ఉంటే అండి, మినిమం 4 lakhs శాలరీ ఎంట్రన్స్లే, మినిమం 4 lakhs. అంటే అంత డిమాండ్ ఉంది. క్యూసీ హెడ్స్కి, హ్యాచరీస్లో కానీ, ప్రాసెసింగ్ యూనిట్స్లో కానీ, మీకు యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ఫార్మింగ్లో కానీ. కాబట్టి ట్రై టు ఇన్కల్కేట్ సచ్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ యాటిట్యూడ్ ఇన్ టు యువర్ మైండ్. కాబట్టి ఆక్వాకల్చర్ని సైంటిఫిక్ వేలో అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. మీరు జనరల్గా ఎన్నిసార్లు బుక్స్ చదివినా, ఎంత బుక్స్ చదివినా, మీరు ప్రాక్టికల్గా వెళ్ళేసరికి నథింగ్, ఏమి అక్కడున్న యాస్పెక్ట్ మొత్తం మారిపోతుందండి. అంటే జనరల్గా 30 yearsలో ఎంత ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ వచ్చిందో, ఈ 1 yearలో, ఈ 9 monthsలో అంత ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ గెయిన్ చేశాను. అంటే అంత ఇది ఉంటుంది మనకి, డైరెక్ట్గా మనం ఫార్మర్స్తో ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతూ ఉంటే. కాబట్టి ఆక్వాకల్చర్ ఇస్ ద బ్యూటిఫుల్ సెక్టార్. ఎవ్రీబడి ట్రై టు గ్రాబ్ ది ఆపర్చునిటీ విత్ యువర్ రైట్ నాలెడ్జ్. ఓకే, రైట్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఉంటేనే మనం దాన్ని గ్రాబ్ చేయగలం. సస్టైనబుల్ ఆక్వాకల్చర్ ప్రాక్టీసెస్ అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ అబౌట్ వాటర్ క్వాలిటీ, సాయిల్ క్వాలిటీ, ఫీడ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్. కానీ అది ఏ విధంగా చేస్తున్నాం అనేది మనకి తెలియాలి. ఓకే, ఫీడ్ ఒక 10 kg ఫీడ్ ఇచ్చాం, ఒక 10 grams చెక్ ట్రేలో ఉంది, యూనిట్ టు రెడ్యూస్ టు 9 kg. కంప్లీట్ అయింది, యూనిట్ టు ఇంక్రీజ్ 10.5 kg. దాన్ని ప్రతిదాన్ని దగ్గర నుంచి అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే మనకి తెలుస్తుందండి. ఓన్ సైన్స్ని మనం క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవాలి. అంతేగాని జనరల్గా బుకిష్ నాలెడ్జ్ని అక్కడ ఇచ్చామనుకోండి, మనకి వర్కౌట్ కాదు. 8.2 pH ఉంది, ఓకే, ఆప్టిమమ్ 8 pH కాబట్టి సరిపోతుంది. మార్నింగ్ ఈవినింగ్ 8.5 ఉంది, అలా కాదు. మనం ఏం జరుగుతుందని అబ్జర్వ్ చేయగలగాలి. ఒక యానిమల్ని బయటకు తీసామంటే యానిమల్ కండిషన్ ఎలా ఉందో చెప్పగలగాలి. ఓకే అండి. కాబట్టి రీసెంట్లీ బిఎంఆర్ ఆల్సో కండక్టెడ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూస్. లాస్ట్ వీక్ ఇంటర్వ్యూస్ కండక్ట్ చేసింది, ఒక 10 members తీసుకున్నారు. వాళ్ళకి ట్రైనింగ్ ఉంది మంగళవారం. మళ్ళీ మీకు నెక్స్ట్ ప్లేస్మెంట్ డ్రైవ్ ఏదైనా ఉంటే సార్కి పంపిస్తాను, అటెండ్ అవ్వండి మీరు. అలాగే జనరల్గా ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ నాలెడ్జ్ని గెయిన్ చేయడానికి చూడండి, అది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆక్వాకల్చర్లో. ఓకే, జనరల్గా చెప్తాను, మీకు ఎప్పుడు కూడా బై ఛాన్స్ యూ కెన్ గెట్ CM post, PM post or any other job or something, but by chance you can't get knowledge అండి. Please keep this point in your mind. By chance you can get anything, but by chance you can't get knowledge. Your degrees or your qualification to enough to introduce yourself, but knowledge is power. It gains the goal, may be late. ఆ నాలెడ్జ్ ఉందనుకోండి, మనకు ఆ వెయిటేజ్ ఉంటుంది. నాలెడ్జ్ లేకపోతే వెయిటేజ్ ఉండదు. ఇండస్ట్రీలో మాత్రం రావాలనుకుంటే యూ నీడ్ టు అక్వైర్ నాలెడ్జ్. ప్రాక్టికల్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఈజ్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఐఎమ్ హ్యాపీ టు సే దిస్, వీఆర్ ఫైల్డ్ వన్ గ్రాంటెడ్ పేటెంట్ ఫర్ ద ఇమ్యూనోమాడ్యులేటర్. ష్రింప్ ఇమ్యూన్ సిస్టమ్ని, ROS మాలిక్యూల్స్ని మళ్ళీ సప్రెస్ చేసే విధంగా ఒక ఇమ్యూనోమాడ్యులేటర్ కోసం ప్యూర్ హెర్బల్ ప్రొడక్ట్స్తో ఒక ట్రయల్ చేస్తున్నామండి. ఓకే, ఆ ప్రొడక్ట్ని మేము 200 ఎకరాల్లో ఇప్పుడు ట్రై చేస్తున్నాం. దాని రిజల్ట్స్ కనుక పర్ఫెక్ట్గా వస్తే మేబీ విత్ ఇన్ 1 year వీఆర్ లాంచింగ్ వన్ న్యూ ప్రొడక్ట్. ఇమ్యూనోమాడ్యులేటర్ అనేటువంటి ఒక న్యూ ప్రొడక్ట్ని మార్కెట్లోకి లాంచ్ చేస్తాం. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ గివింగ్ మీ దిస్ ఎక్సలెంట్ ఆపర్చునిటీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ వన్ అండ్ ఆల్.
Any questions from the student session side? Any one of you? Any one of you? Sir discussed about the present scenarios which are happening in our districts. So that is the major condition, major topic he discussed. Okay. So, okay, I am closing the session here. If you have any doubt, please raise your hand. Okay. Sir, Dr. Sridhar Garu delivered an insightful and thought-provoking session. So, particularly discussed about the present problems which were identified in the sectors, in particularly in our West Godavari and as well as Krishna. In these districts, the present situation is the freshwater culture. That is the main problem. That means here the prawn culture is very tough in freshwater. As we know about that, we cannot maintain the proper pH and as well as a PPT and various kinds of situations also. So how to overcome this kind of problems? By using different kinds of that means introductions like mineralia, like that SAR discussed about some kind of products like miracle products, and recently one of the patent he is trying to introduce that. If it is we hope that, sir, that should be more successful, and it should be the fruitful component to our farmers. And sir said that one point, that is every student, aquaculture student, after that he must be a farmer, and he must be a chemist, and he must be a biologist. So the wonderful quotations are excellently given to the students, and thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful lecture.
A very good evening to one and all. This is K. Subhashini Devi, lecturer in zoology. I welcome you all for technical session 3. I feel very happy to introduce our resource person, Dr. S.A. Naidu, project scientist C at the National Center for Coastal Research, Chennai, India. Dr. Naidu holds a PhD in zoology with a specialization in benthic ecology, focusing on the variability in composition and distribution of macrobenthos in Indian estuaries and the coastal Bay of Bengal. With over 15 years of research experience, his work integrates benthic ecology, ecosystem services, blue economy concepts, microplastic research, and biogeochemical processes in coastal and marine systems. He has contributed to several major national and international projects, including ecosystem modeling, ocean monitoring systems, microplastics quantification, and marine protected area planning. His research output includes 28 publications with a cumulative impact factor of 100, and he had received recognition through prestigious fellowships and international collaborations. Dr. Naidu's work significantly contributes to understanding coastal ecological quality, climate change, impacts, and sustainable ocean governance. We are honored to have him with us today. We heartily welcome you, sir, for this session. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Department of Zoology, this international seminar on this impact on climate change on the aquaculture. Is it audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's audible.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so happy where I did my master's initially in Government College Autonomous, Rajamandri. Uh, the Adikavi Nanaya University is initially was situated in that college. Even perhaps where now the presentation today which I'm giving on this impacts of this climate change on marine ecosystems and aquaculture. So I'm so happy today my gurus, most of them, even Dr. Ramesh Garu, who is the guide, one of the co-guide, and Vijay Nirmala Garu and Kalyani Madam, these all are my gurus in earlier here. So thank you so much for the briefing regarding my work related that aspect. Yeah, first of all, good afternoon all. This is most of the different college students, even perhaps postgraduate and scholars. Uh, Mostly Dr. Sridhar and other who is the speakers mostly briefed about in aquaculture, pond management, and some kind of quality control, feeding, these all aspects. This will be likely different. This particularly this talk related to this marine ecosystems, which is directly linked to the aquaculture or this marine fisheries. In the context, particularly speaking about is today talk is this climate change. So, what is climate change? Due to this climate change, what will be impact on this marine ecosystem? First of all, what is marine ecosystem? In this marine ecosystems, the living resources, which are nothing but this, fishes, fishery population, or how it will be impact this climate change, and what kind of the drivers are the factors dragging this climate change, how it is transforming or evolving, and what we need to take. So this is what the general scenarios. I try to briefing within hardly 25 to 30 minutes. Even I'm so happy to take up few questions if it's needed. In my best, I will try to give some, my responses on that aspect of the questions. Now, yeah, coming to the direct to the point. Yes, I'm Naidu, and where I am working as a scientist in National Center for Coastal Research. Before that, National Center for Coastal Research is attached body of the Ministry of the Earth Sciences. So the ministry having 10 organizations in which one is the attached body under the present the Minister of Dr. Dhiren Ji, who is the minister. Jitendra Singh Ji is the minister of that. Now coming to the organization, National Center for Coastal Research, mostly in the Indian coast, four aspects we are working. One is the coastal processes and hazards. Another one is that water quality, entire Indian coast. Even third one is major point here where I want to talk about today of our talk, even perhaps
Sir,
climate change, coastal habitats,
hello,
ecosystems.
sir.
Sorry,
PPT close అయిపోయింది sir.
is it?
Yeah.
Is it okay now? Hello?
No sir.
Yeah, is it okay now?
No sir.
Oh God.
ఇందాక చెప్పినట్లే sir.
Shall I go back again?
Yes sir.
Same. Oh God. my laptop having some issues. I'm extremely sorry for that. So today, this is the aspect, actually 4 streams which we are working majorly in this domain in the entire marine ecosystems in the coastal regions in Indian coast, way back at something like 11,000 kilometers of the coast. So here the coastal habitats, mostly even the biological systems, mangrove, even seagrasses, as well as this coastal coral reef ecosystems. We are studying on that aspects. Another one is the giving the training and giving the some kind of short-term training programs, even school children's as well as college and master's theses. These all aspects. Now coming to the point, so where I am majorly working on this ecosystem health studies, some kind of pollution aspects. Another thing is that where is the another major aspect is that global regulation, global climate change aspect, the carbon studies which we are needed, that carbon. Another one is that now government of India, even perhaps global oceans which are promoting this blue carbon to getting economy from this, using the blue resources. That's what the one of the prestigious project under the Deep Ocean Mission our government of India is conducting. Under this, the theme actually this aquaculture and marine fisheries, whatever these all aspects coming into this umbrella program, Deep Ocean Mission. Now coming to this global one of the pollutant now, this microplastics, even perhaps this is most important, even cultural ponds aspect. For example, the quality of the fishes, quality of the shrimp, and these all aspects, we need to be much more work on this microplastics. In these domains, we are working in this first of all in the open waters. After that, we are going to this, cultured waters as well. Now, another thing is that continuous monitoring studies are always needed to understand the health of the ecosystem, pelagic and benthic organisms, all these kind of, column, water column of the fishes as well. So, yeah. Now coming to the why this is important, this climate change in this context of this presentation, where the seminar is majorly motto is that this is the aspect. So now you see the sustainable developmental goals we have globally pitched up to sustainable future in this all human wealth, humankind aspect, livelihoods. Further to support in that lively, hood support as well as this globally one sustainable future for the next generations, we have adapted some plans in the globally, which are the 17 goals, in which 13, 14, 15 is the major domain for us. In if one was one of the point here is the 13 global goal. 13 is that climate change action. Another one 14 is that life below ocean. This is the 14 goal. These both are linked to this conference. That's what the intention to say that. Another aspect is that the worldwide, now as we know that all these summits will taking place, World Economic Forum recently highlighted some of the risks, in which risk the environmental risk. This environmental risk is most important for that, particularly our food security. That's called nothing but this food security is the fisheries resources. For that aspect, we have to keep in this slide. They were, given some slot for us, short term as well as the long term. These are the impacts. We need to study much more risks. So coming to the point now, this what is the climate change? As we all know that climate change is not a simple phenomena. This is continuous processes. Now the intensification is taking place more. If you look at here in this slide, somewhere the left side of the slide, what it is indicating that way back in 80s, you see the 1910 or up to 1940s, this is one kind of scenario. Whereas coming to the year, see where the 2025, now the scenario is, this is the scenario 2002, even 2025. This is the span of time. Something like within 2 decades or 1 decade, you see the span of temperature growth. This is the point here we have to stress it out. 1.5 degrees centigrade enhancement since the last 10 years or 20 years, which is a significant impact on the oceanic environment in terms of temperature, salinity, this kind of, the physical and chemical processes that will be significant impact on the coastal marine fisheries. even perhaps not only in the marine, where we are doing is this pond culture, particularly in the east and west, in one of the, hotspots for that, most of the economy from the fisheries or the aquaculture, which is coming from this in this domain. So that's the reason actually the temperature impact or their, causes, how it is impacting on this growth or the feed or the production aspect. That's what we need to be studying much more. So this will be significant impact. There are number of studies have been taken up. Let's speak about slowly, very briefly. As all we know this, climate change, as I said, the greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, hydrogen, nitrous oxide. So this kind of, gases presence in the atmosphere. So water also it will be there. Keep on exchange is taking place. That is called air sea exchange. So something in the atmosphere, more amount of heat on the surface of the water, obviously it will enter into the heat again into the ocean. This will be significant impact on the larval dispersal rates, the larval growth stages, or the malpractices of the speed or whatever. So all these aspects. Now here this figure is representing simple. Heat is there, that heat radiation reaching to the globe for our earth. Later globe also emits back, that is the short and long term. This kind of process is taking place. So this figure is representing when there is a high amount of CO2 in the atmosphere, methane in the atmosphere. So there is a significant trap is taking place. The emissions cannot go up. The radiation again bringing back. That's how the entire globe is warming up. So once the atmospheric temperature is warmer, this will be significant impact on the formation of the cyclones, even temperature gradients or salinity gradients. The physical processes of the oceanic coastal systems are changing. So unwanted amount of sea rises, unwanted amount of floods, unwanted amounts of rain is coming. That will be directly impact on our land fisheries, particularly the pond where we are doing this aquaculture. That's how actually we need to be understand much more impact of this climate change. I mean the warming of the ocean or warming of the globe. Now coming to the point why we are said this one briefing. See, there is a paper which is a downstream. The article what they have taken point here is that if you look at here, see two figures in our Indian Ocean, Northern Indian Ocean, particularly these Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. What they are dealing here, how this ocean is getting warming, and that's what generating some waves, that is called a heat wave. That heat wave significantly impact on these pelagic larval stages. I mean plankton, we can say that, microscopic plants and microscopic animals, which are the direct food actually for the fishes or juvenile fishes in the pelagic aspect. At the same time, that will be go inside, this will be acting as a food for the bottom fishes, that is called demersal fishes. So the heat wave was one of the impact is much more significantly recently. Our climate scientists in the Indian Oceans, what we are expecting is that the heat wave, when the increasing of the temperature significantly, even 0.2 degree, even perhaps even 1 year or something, that will be significant impact in the long term aspect. 10 to 15 years, this is a significant impact. So this is what I want to say, that this is the Kohli, one of the IMD, Indian Meteorological Department. These people has been studied. Even IITM, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, mostly working on this land-based or ocean-based this climatology, this all. So formation of the any cyclone 27.5 degrees, which is the more favorable for the formation of the cyclones. When there is a high amount of temperature in the oceanic environment and the upper ocean, obviously it is keep on promoting and formation of the cyclones. That's how the more amount of cyclones or changing, the shifting is taking place. That is called a global shift, or our is Indian subcontinent. Typically, the southwest monsoon, northeast monsoon. This is the time 8 months period. Now enormously changing, either intensifying or no rains. That is called drought conditions or flood conditions are arising. Both are problem for us since we are depending on this aquaculture. That's why the temperature increasing is not a simply one particularly India, but also it is entirely in the global. If you look at here, if the global average of temperature increases in the entire oceanic environment, if you look at here entire the globe, you see the temperature scale is something like, you see here where our northern Indian Ocean, this is called, we can say NIO, northern Indian Ocean, this entire area coming to the first here. This is the scale is represented first. So this color, what it indicating is that we are so enormous temperature, our sector, our Indian region, particularly warming up. This is not, that doesn't mean that this the response is only India. This is the global shifting taking place, the temperature or whatever the oceanic circulations. Now coming to these things, what will be happen? So enormous amounts of the cyclones, you see different cyclones are tracking are taking place here, different genesis, the formations, different directions. This will be another problem for us. It is an unexpected things. We cannot track up sometimes, even though this much infrastructure, advanced techniques we are using. Even though running the models or AI tools or techniques, still it is, large amount of gap is there to understand. Now this is the recent work from that Roxy, Dara, and these all people, the class one published our Minister of Health Sciences, entire India, different regions in different risks actually. Per se here, northeast if you say, increase in the warming days significantly. Coming to the western coast, increasing severe cyclones. Coming to the Sundarban areas, sea level is rising. So entire Indian sector, different aspects of problems we are facing now. That's what my intention to say here. So this is extreme, cyclonic genesis, extreme events are taking place, unwanted floods are coming. This is the devastating problem for us, significant impact on the aquaculture ponds. These are typical marine ecosystems. Very briefly, I can say, typically marine ecosystem contain different zones. One is the portic zone, another one is the aportic zone. Portic layer is the where the high production taking place. That kind of organic matter, direct food to these pelagic organism, fishes, whatever prawns are there, and leftover things, this organic matter or particulate organic matter, or the dissolved or non-dissolved organic matters acting as other levels foods. So different chains are there, different levels are there. So these are typically taking place. Now coming to the impact on this any pond, typically in the shallow pond where we are culturing, these are typical things taking place. One is the natural impact, another one is the human impact. Human impact, high amount of nitrate, high amount of phosphate, and some kind of pollutants. These are the direct impact on the life of the fisheries or life of the prawn, whatever we can say. Another thing is that impact of radiation. When the temperature is increasing, direct impact of some kind of rays that will be molecular level or some kind of genetical level, whatever so is. Even these all things favorable conditions of that, water column conditions, certain temperature, certain pH, certain nutrient levels, these all things, the food and everything is the matter of concern to understand. So if you look here, this is how it will be impact. This is the pictorial, this from Christopher et al. Published this paper taken up from the in this talk aspect. See how beautifully they were illustrated that the larval impact, the transportation process where the physical process is driving, the currents and everything, moving these larvae, the dispersal rates and the movement of organisms and mechanical shock which will be impact the growth of these organisms. So these are unexpected and quite not long. These are unexpected direct shift or sudden changes, significant mass mortality will come up. That's how the next slide I will show you further slides, you maybe get more information on this. Now this, as I said, some are direct, some are indirect effect. We can say that, anthropogenic as well as natural aspect. These are the things, particularly any pond we have to be impact. These are the factors we need to be considered. So another study, there is a report, you see here, agriculture is important for us since it is a backbone. At the same time, agriculture also emits some kind of, gases, CO2, methane, nitrous. Even farming also, little bit, it will be give back to the atmosphere. But at the same time, the same amount it will take up during the photosynthesis as well. So high amount of carbon, they are fixing. At the same time, marine ecosystems also the same. The tiny microscopic planktons, we can say phytoplankton, they will be take up more amount of carbon from the atmosphere for the process of production, and at the same time converting this organic matter, again it is going back to the other level of organisms, microbial loop, or then typical phytoplankton, zooplankton, and even for the next level benthic and demersal species. This is the typical normal food chain or food web is taking place. So what I want to say here is that the climate change is significantly impact these different aspects of the process. So this I won't say much more about. These are the detailed. Further later, if anyone is interested, you can go through the paper. This review is indicating that all amounts of all holistic approach, the sustainable food systems, how it will be impacted by various aspects, for say flooding or the temperature or acidity or production. These all even represented to the pond as well as in marine ecosystems, similar kind of systems. So that's what this things, this slide is showing. A to Z, I won't speak much more, and various aspects is the covered. So the global risk factors also they given, how the disease, harmful algal blooms, or the changes of the rainfall precipitation, sea level rises, these all aspects. Now, and also I worked in this aspect, since I'm working in this coastal in the deep ocean as well. So working with this deep ocean initiatives with NOVA and Scripps institutions. So we all together formed as a group in the Young Scientist with even some Chinese people as well. So biodiversity, how it is the important for us. When the biodiversity more, how the fish populations will be also more attractive, more the production coming. That's what the intention to say that. Typically, 100 meters of the water column, around 90% of the excess heat it is taking up. Even 25% of CO2 also they are grasping up. So that's why the oceanic environment is that much important for us to understand. There are factors, what I said that. So a amount of this, low bottom fishing or some kind of unwanted, fishing, the trawling also disturbing these marine ecosystems. There is a sustainable fishery practices also important for the coastal regions or in the our riverine environment, per se in Godavari River, so like that. So this is deep ocean actually biodiversity. We are incorporated into one climate change policy. We given to this IPCC as well. Even top per se that conference of parties, this global summit in which also we given this paper for that to making some policies and international regulations or formations, so all on. Now this is the entire global, our EEZ, exclusive economic zone, we can say where up to 200 meters we can fishing taking place, right, in entire globe, any country we can. After that EEZ 200 meter water depth, that is a different scenario. Even international waters as well. Now Indian government also signed for that, this negotiations with this. And the global fisheries economic zones, how it is evolved and all things were addressed in these aspects. Now coming to this, why the climate change, again we are coming to the back to the system. The climate change significant impact, these floodings are unwanted, and even sometimes drought conditions where the overheat, there is a high amount of high amount of high amount of heat actually causing for the fire, the forest fires. Even the glaciers are melting as well. These are the things actually which are coming. So these all things only just span of 0.5 degrees centigrade increases only. If our projections 2000, this 2100 year, this 1.5 degree centigrade increases, then what about that our marine ecosystems? What we are, what we can do with this aquaculture, whether it is possible to continue this aquaculture, the next generation. So that's what the question actually everyone is thinking. For that reason, this climate change is that much important, the globally increasing of the temperature, whatever the warming. Now, why it is the problem? This is what the problem systematically. See the temperature rise, if 1.5 degree it is the corals, whereas 2 degrees centigrade if it is, the global is red, 99% damage is taking place. Similarly, the species loss even in the terrestrial environment as well, you see the differences. If the temperature, without temperature, where the warming is taking place, how it will be erode, the insects, plants, whatever the things, even. That means not only in the marine, but also terrestrial, all aspects will be significant impact. Similarly, drought condition, agriculture, this is the backbone for us, this will be impact. This is the way 2 degrees centigrade increases. Similarly, sea level rise also right now the 48 centimeters per say 1.5 degree. If it is 2 centimeters means 56 centimeters. Many of the islands will be submerged into the water. At the same time, where our aquaculture practices all along the coast in India, these all things also will be filled up with water. So this is the situation is rising. That's what actually futuristic vision, we have to take up the challenges, how to reduce this global climate signatures. For that, India also signed 2070 carbon neutrality. There is no amount of carbon will not be emitted to the atmosphere. We are signed in this Paris Agreement in this aspect. So we are planning this 2047, even 2070 agenda. This is the majorly we are going this aim. So now coming to the back point to the fisheries related, that's what I want to speak about. So many places, even some kind of ponds, big ponds, some hundreds of acres, some people will be taking place in the ponds. The sudden drop of, oxygen, this is the backbone for us, for fishes. Certain temperature, how is the needed, salinity needed. Similarly, oxygen also needed. So the oxygen, typical oxygen for say 5 mg, we can say 250 micromoles, I can say in my language. 200 to 250 micromoles of the oxygen is much good environment for that breathing. But now, even the oceanic ecosystem, if you look at this Nakvi et al. Nature published in 2000, this is the paper. Even 2019 also, the paper, one more paper published. Even Dr. Gupta et al., we are all together working in this Indian sector. We are also published recently in the geophysical research letters as well. See, the central India, where the Goa, Mangalore, these all aspects. See, here some the deep ocean regions as well. These all our Indian sector, our EEZ as well as the international waters as well. All waters, they're red. If you look at, you see the scale here, 0 to 10. 10 micromoles is entire water is coming, means you imagine how the fish were killed actually. It is floating on the waters, finally come to the coast and these people are picking up the fishes. These are quite interesting. That's what we need to study the marine ecology or marine biology, marine sciences. That's why. This is why I'm stressing is the point is that the dead zones, the worldwide are increasing. So if the dead zones are coming, the fish will be dead like this. Even ponds also, sudden drop of oxygen. Even sometimes, even though we are regularly practicing, regularly collecting, the technicians will collect the water and so on. Even night time also. So that's why some approaches are coming now, AI techniques also, to continuous, monitoring of the health of the fisheries or these all things. But however, we are also doing this similar line, the natural ecosystem, natural systems as well. Oxygen is one of the most important factors for that. So as we said earlier, the unwanted growth of some kind of, algae, that is called, either whatever the Natiluca, Casnodiscus, these are different kinds of names of this Trichodiscus, the plankton species, Gonialox. This abundantly in the Indian coastal waters are coming. Even these waters again we are giving to the same water, sometimes giving to that, aquaculture. So if what is the species maybe go there, even proliferation is taking place, unwanted amount of, waters, this growth of these organisms, releasing of some toxicants, the toxicants which way they are impacting neurology, neural aspect, or what of cell signaling, or we don't know. This is what the molecular level also we need to be much more work. This I want to say here simply is that the unwanted growth of algal blooms is a nuisance for us, not only emitting the greenhouse gases, but also this will directly impact on the, oxygen reduction, as well as organic matter mineralization, decreasing of the pH, as well as increasing of the partial pressure of the CO2, emitting back CO2, as well as the layers forming of the mortality of the fishes as well. So this is what another thing, why this is important for even the aquaculture, or per se here simply I'm speaking about, since I'm working still little line in our Koringa mangrove ecosystem, which is the hotspots for that to study of this, fish and shellfish farming, whatever. This is what the next level we are planning. Anyway, the point here I want to mention is that the carbon aspect, since the talk is related to the climate change, high amount of carbon, these bivalves are the gastropods, which are the molluscans, many species, to construction of the buildup of the, cell, the formation of cells, they are taking high amount of carbon. So CaCO3 form, that's called a calcium carbonate, in which comes per se 10% of their body. This is only that I am telling. I am not speaking about that muscle. Muscles are different. Even meat is different. Even cell is different. Because cells are long-term deposition of the carbon. That's what we are speaking about cells. The dead cells, huge amount of carbon are trapping. That's why if you promote that, self-fish farming or this kind of aquaculture, not only the coming for the, benefit of that money, even livelihood supports, but also it will support directly to the society, even our climate change mitigation, sustainable environment we are saying. So that's how the selfish farming also is important. Since now 1970s to till now, around 80% of the direction of this fish population, particularly the selfish farming, selfish fishes. That's what our studies so far, as of our knowledge, last 4 years we are studying. We need to publish this work as well. However, these European Union were already given some kind of, framework actually they given. From that we have taken up, which will support to our blue economy aspect, even fisheries related aspect. Now coming to the final pointing, there are some certain strategies in aquaculture aspects are needed. So Cedar and other people also spoke about and some kind of these all aquaculture aspects. I'm not speaking about, that's the reason. However, the clear point is that some kind of, healthy and resilient species we have to seed selection. At the same time, multiple different level of aquaculture, rather than keep on the traditional, we have to advance, we have to do in the different level of aquacultures, even with a collaborative way, rather than one farmer is culture, one some work. Similarly, different farmers are new ideas, new exchanges, keep on talking, some kind of committees forming. This will be impact the positive for the aquaculture farmers. Similarly, water quality keep on checking. At the same time, not only checking whether the instrumentation is properly working or not, what kind of lab we are giving the test, whether some kind of, scientific manner we are taking the proper advices from the expert opinion talk. These are all things we have to take. So overall, ecosystem based aquaculture is always better. Different kinds of organisms, different kind of, which is the best growth for us and adapted to best suit for our environment. Somewhere in the China is the good food for that, but the same environment may not be for us, or somewhere in the Europe like that. Based on our environment, we have to select the species. Similarly, good mangrove restoration, these are also impact for us, mangrove fisheries growth, some kind of farmers. Also, we have to do that. Fortunately, it is good enough, we have to say the government of India right now is all central government or the state governments highly promoting this growth of this fisheries, since we are the significant infrastructure developing we have right now, and sustainable fisheries aspects government is giving MMSY, everyone is mostly aware of that. So Prime Minister Matsya Sampada Yojana, promoting and giving some amount of, lump sum money on the subsidy basis or something, and technical also some scientific the fisheries like a CMFRI and OSI or Fisheries Survey of India. This kind of people also giving some advices. Keep on stakeholder meetings are conducting, even some kind of universities as well. Even similarly, Blue Economy Initiative of Government of India has given this place for us to now economically and which way we have to promote and to the top, small to top level, how to take up and entrepreneurs, this all, they are giving high amount of, this thing. Even coastal regulatory zones, here that rules also some, time-based actually, which is sustainable way they are giving for some solutions for us to develop that kind of environment. And similarly, the fishery policy also framed for that. Even mangrove restoration programs also giving, then again bringing to the last fisheries, again bringing back 2030 agenda, our global commitment. At least 30% of the population, whatever the fishery laws and everything, bringing back to the system. Again, we have to regenerate the system what we lost already. That's what our aim, we are working on that. And with this briefing, thank you so much giving me this opportunity. I'm so happy from my side to give, if any things for some comments for that, if anyone is giving. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for delivering about the understanding climate change impacts, ocean acidification.
Thank you so much.
Ocean acidification, sea level rise, change in ocean currents and temperature, and you also explained very well about regional hotspots of observed climate changes in India, biodiversity in deep oceans, and government initiatives in India for supporting aquaculture. Finally, this session was very informative and thought-provoking to maintain sustainable aquaculture for future generation. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your admirable speech on impact of climate change on aquaculture. Thank you once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much.
In 2002 to 2007, he served as a government junior college lecturer, and 2007 to 8, sub-registrar of assurances in a registration department, which is coming under group 2, and 2008 to till date onwards, he had been working as a degree college lecturer. Then let me share a few achievements of sir. In 1995, sir got qualified in a national eligibility test. In 1992, sir selected from MCRDO under group 2. 1994 selected under fishery inspector, and 2002 again selected as a junior lecturer by APPSC. 2003 sir selected under group 2 as a deputy tahsildar, and 2007 again sir selected as a sub-registrar, which is coming under group 2, and again in 2008 sir had selected as a degree college lecturer by APPSC, and 2014 onwards sir acting as a research guide in biotechnology research center in DVK Krishna government degree college, which is located at Visakhapatnam. And sir had different fields of experiences. Sir got 7th rank in MSc Zoology and 4th rank, stood 4th rank in RSET, Andhra University Research Common Entrance Test in 1995. State 2nd rank in APPSC Degree College Lecture in 2007, and Best JKC Award also sir got in 2013 and as well as 2015, which was given by Commissionerate of Collegiate Education, and he had more than different fields of experiences. So students, you should take him as an idealistic person to achieve all these things. So he began classes from 96 onwards. in Hindustan Shipyard Government Degree College, which is located in Visakhapatnam, 2002 in TSR TBK Degree College, Visakhapatnam, and medical lab technology classes also he dealt. At the same time, practical classes for PG, MSc, PG, and other entrances also sir used to give coaching. And zoology, in zoology, different spheres like a human and as well as animal physiology, developmental biology, evolution, entomology, evolutionary ethics, anthropology, molecular biology, whatnot. Sir covered all aspects. Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity to introduce such an eminent personality. Thank you very much. Students, you should be very careful while giving a lecture by the sir, and you must be at least, sir achieved these fields, at least you should try to achieve one or two also, I hope. Thank you, sir.
అక్కడికి వెళ్ళిపోతే 1 minute ఒక్క నిమిషం మాట్లాడు. A very good afternoon to you all. A very good afternoon. Thank you. Those who are at the back cannot see this. Could you please come forward? Please. మీరు వెనకాల తలుపేస్తారు, మీరు వెళ్ళడానికి వెళ్ళగలేదు, కడి ముందుకు వచ్చేయండి. All back benchers, be front benchers. Please, fast. మిమ్మల్ని ఎక్కువ శ్రమ పెట్టను. I'll try my level best to what we call impress you upon. Okay? బోర్ కొట్టించను. Okay. A very good evening to you all. First of all, I would like to thank Principal of this college, Ram Chandra Rao Garu, and my dear friend Durga Rao Garu, and convener of this program, who invited me, Mrs. Sailaja Garu, for selecting me as one of the resource persons for this wonderful international conference on impact of climate change on aquaculture. In the past 3 sessions, in the previous 3 sessions, you have heard about what actually climate change is and its impact is on aquaculture. I will run through certain slides fastly, so that I'll go into actual topic which actually suits you. Because most of the audience are students here, I would like to start with this. When I have, Babu, please listen. When I have completed my MSc, the opportunities to get a government job are very less. I had to wait for about 5 years for government notification because I want to become a government gazetted officer. I have written it in my 10th class only. Okay, so I have to wait for 5 years. In the meantime, what my friends did is, they went to aquaculture farms, a hatchery in Nakapalli, as technical assistants. Boys should listen this. My friends of MSc went to an aquaculture hatchery as technical assistants or technicians, and I had to wait for 5 years to get a government job. And I got a government job. I have become a gazetted officer as I wished, and I'm earning about 2 lakhs per month only from the past few years. Previously, I used to earn only 8,000 per month. And in the entire span of my life, I may be including all the expenditure also, I may get 1 crore, isn't it? For about 30 years of service. But my friends in aqua field, they have earned about 10 crores in the past 20 years. That is the potential of aquaculture. They have started as a technician and they have become now consultants. Some of them are consultants and some of them are managing directors and some of them are having their own farms. Okay? So this is the potential. Some of you are zoology students and some of you are aquaculture students. You have lot of potential in aquaculture. And when you see an aquaculture unit, they take only boys in general. Very few are in, girls will be there. But what is the buzzword in the past 1 year in internet? What is the buzzword from the past 1 year in the internet? It starts with A and ends with I. Artificial intelligence. So my topic is going to be dealing with the AI in aquaculture. And this AI in aquaculture is having lot of job opportunities even for girl students. So you can earn lot more, you can be part of the system when you learn artificial intelligence. And to learn artificial intelligence, you need not go anywhere. Artificial intelligence itself acts as a tutor. One day I have sat before the ChatGPT and asked one prompt, just, ChatGPT, could you please be my tutor? Could you please be my tutor? She asked, what are you studying? It asked me, what are you studying? I am not studying, I am a teacher. So you want me to be a tutor for a teacher? It's a conversation between ChatGPT and myself. Yes, please, I wrote. Then it asked, what for? I asked one thing. I want to learn metagenomics. I don't have any idea of this. Could you please teach me metagenomics? Immediately it prepared a 6 months program for daily 1 hour. What I have to do is open ChatGPT and just type, I am ready. And it will give what we call notes for 1 hour and exercises also. What I have to do? Just go through it and learn metagenomics in 6 months. That is how simple it is. Artificial intelligence you might be using only for the preparation of notes. But you see the wonder of artificial intelligence, what actually is in aquaculture. Shall we start? Shall we start? Okay. So, as Naidu sir previously mentioned, there are sustainable development goals by United Nations Development Program. There are 2 goals. One deals with climate action, goal number 13. The other is about the life below water, that is goal number 14. 13 says that to make vulnerable regions more resilient to the impact of climate change. Vulnerable means it is prone to dangers. Resilient means, in other words, to make it strong. So the 13th goal is to make it strong. So aquaculture is one of the vulnerable regions due to change in climate. And we have to make it resilient. And AI is going to make it resilient. And the second one is SDG 14. It's all about the life below water. It tells us that to help give your audience an overview, this is all about the life below water. And next, coming to the Viksit Bharat 2047. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi Garu has a vision of vision set up for 2047, 100 years after independence, what actually India is going to be. And one of the document statements is that environmental concerns, particularly climate change and the overexploitation of natural resources, pose significant threats to sustainable development. What actually is sustainable development? We have already dealt with. Sustainability means we are enjoying everything. We are having water, we are having oxygen. What about your children after 2050? Will they be having? No, it's a big question mark. So we have to give the same what we are having, we have to give the same to our coming generations. That is what sustainability is. And it speaks about sustainability. Okay? And there is Swarnandhra 2047. As initiated by our Honorable Chief Minister, sir, it also speaks about, the statement is like this. One of the visions in 2047 of Swarnandhra is like this. Climate resilient state protecting its people, environment and economy from the worst impacts of climate change while leading in sustainability and innovation. So everything, whether it be UN's Sustainable Development Goals or Viksit Bharat 2047 or Swarnandhra 47, all are stressing upon sustainability. Before that, there is what is that we have to meet? The impact of climate change. Without addressing the climate change, we cannot do anything. There is a scientist called as Lawrence. He coined a term, a chaos theory, from which a term is derived, and that is called as butterfly effect. Maybe you have heard about it in a movie. What is that movie? Nanaku Premato, exactly. So, what actually butterfly effect is? It's nothing but tiny, insignificant. Insignificant means we need not bother about it. Tiny, insignificant initial changes in a complex system can result in massive, unpredictable and non-linear consequences elsewhere over time. Something happens here, it influences something elsewhere. It is simply written in a metaphor. The last sentence here is, a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil could trigger a tornado in Texas. Is it possible? Butterfly flapping its butterfly, not even a big bird or vulture or eagle. Butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil may induce a tornado in Texas. That is what it says, butterfly effect. Let's see what actually happens here. Sorry. So we have to keep in mind that the earth belongs to all, not just human beings. Even the minutest of minute organisms play their part. There is a video, as I am not having any time, I'll share the link in the group, you can see that. That video link is there in that slide. It shows that there is an organism called as salpa. Zoologists and aquaculturists, you might be knowing, salpa doliolum. And it's a colonial organism. What they have done is, there is a turbulency, currents of water, isn't it? High tide, low tide. How these are created? We say it is the moon. But this video says that salpa itself, minute organisms, many such minute organisms are responsible for what we call mixing of water and creating currents. So you can't believe this. A minute organism which is highly microscopic doing such a massive thing, because they are many in number, so that this mixing of water in marine environment is taking place. And the next one is, see the small organism. This is called as tardigrade. It's an invertebrate, it's called as a tardigrade. And it's also called as water bear or moss piget. You see the words there, cryptobiosis. It is the active form. When
the favorable changes, when the climate changes, it undergoes anhydrobiosis, cryptobiosis, osmobiosis, and ultimately changes itself into a small, what we call ball-like structure, and that is called as ton, TUN, ton. In the stun stage, this tardigrade can live for thousands of years. Can you live? No, but this is doing that. And what the research is now? The research is that what are the proteins that are involved in making this organism sustain highly unfavorable conditions like the climate change we are speaking about. And those proteins are being studied so that they can be incorporated in us so that we can become climate resilient. That is what the research is going. So this is the smallest organism that's having profound impact on life. And another small organism is there. And this organism is nothing but a hummingbird. This is a hummingbird. And it's the smallest bird on earth. They live in Andes. Andes is the range of mountains in America, at elevations where there is almost no oxygen. Why God is placing this particular bird there? Because we know birds are responsible for pollination, and there are plants where they need pollination, cross-pollination, for which they require a bird, but no bird goes there. So God kept this bird there. Isn't it? Isn't how wonderful it is? This is a small organism. This is responsible for pollination, especially in lowland rainforests and cloud forests, where other pollinators like bees have trouble with the rain and also with the less hypoxic conditions, that is less oxygen conditions. What I want to say here is, here this particular organism is having certain resilience to climate change. What is that climate change there? Less oxygen. And in aquaculture also, as Sir pointed out, there are three parameters: temperature, oxygen, pH. If oxygen goes down, what has to be done? So we can take notes from these organisms. Understood? And let's move to the next one. We know actually, I want to skip some of the slides because some of the sources have already dealt with it. Sridhar sir also pointed this. Like bacteria and virus to man, man is to earth. Did you understand? Bacteria and virus cause diseases to you, and what man, even woman also, doing? We are causing trouble to the earth. So we are the troublemakers, and we say that we are the protectors. No, we are troubling the earth so that we are getting trouble. To save our lives, we are saying that we are going to protect it. Isn't it? Okay. And aquaculture, you people feel that it's just for food. Why we have to culture? Because there is a growing population. We'll deal with it also. To meet the demands of the growing population, we need culture of organisms. Only to meet the greed of the human beings. For that too for food, non-vegetarians. Isn't it? But actually, it's not meant just for food. It is meant for sustainability of earth and thereby humans and other organisms also. Okay? And this entire slide, you can go through it after sharing my PPT there, as I'm not having much time. This PPT tells us how the climate change is having its impact on aquaculture, including the freshwater as well as marine life. So climate change, I don't want to speak much on this. So to meet the current national conference, we'll have 4 case studies here. The case study 1, what is it? In Andhra Pradesh,
This case study is about shrimp aquaculture and cyclones. We have hudud and titli. What is its impact? It resulted in flooding, salinity fluctuations, disease outbreaks, extreme events, all these leading to about 50 to 100% crop loss in all the affected districts. Sridhar Morning told us, if you invest 1 crore, you may get 2 crores or you may lose the entire 1 crore. And there is a climate intervention where you don't have anything to do. And such cases, what has to be done? We'll deal with that also. And in second case study, there is salinity intrusion in Sundarbans. When I first came to Vizag, MVP colony is considered as the richest colony in Vizag at that time in 1990s. Now no one takes a flat there. Why? Because seawater is inundating into the groundwater. And groundwater is becoming saline. That is what is happening to Sundarbans also. Sundarbans are the greatest repository of biodiversity, and we are facing a threat by saline intrusion. Then what happens? The diversity is going to be affected there. And the case study 3 and 4 is about Kerala and Tamil Nadu. In Kerala, the climate drivers are, it's an inland fishery due to flooding, and the impact is that fisheries and aquaculture losses estimated in hundreds of crores due to floods. You know Kerala, there are a lot of floods. So due to floods, the aquaculture industry is badly affected, leading to loss of hundreds of crores, not just few crores. And in Tamil Nadu, we know Tamil Nadu is said to be the state where temperatures are high. So these high temperatures are going to affect the aquaculture industry also. And the impact is that at elevated temperatures, there is reduced dissolved oxygen, increased fish mortality, and there is also every chance for the blooming of algae, which is also having impact on the production side. And let me share with one more study, global case studies. A temperature rise in Chile led to mass mortality of salmon fish. In Chile, temperature rise to just 1 degree centigrade led to mass mortality of salmon fish. And ocean acidification of just 0.2 to 0.3 led to what we call destruction or death of lot of young shellfish larvae. We call them as spat in Gulf of Maine. And the last one is storms and floods accompanied by El Nino. They have cut the anchovita landings to 56%. What is anchovita? In Godavari, we are all fond of one kind of fish. What is it? Pulasa, Hilsa elisha. And for Peruvians, this is pulsa for them. And that is having the second or third largest commercial fish in that area, and that is affected. The landings are affected because of these storms, floods, and erode forms. Okay. And what has to be done? So there are certain bodies governing the climate change and its impact. One is UNFFCC, and the other is Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change, and the third one is World Meteorological Organization. I'm not speaking about this because we don't have much time. Okay. So then what has to be done? Climate change, there are two things. One, it has to be mitigated, or we have to adapt. There is no chance. Either we have to succumb or we have to adjust to itself. And in order to adapt ourselves, the main aim of this presentation is to minimize harm and enhance the ability to cope with climate-related challenges. And this leads to my topic. The topic is blue intelligence.
you have heard about artificial intelligence, and this is blue intelligence. That means incorporation of artificial intelligence in blue economy. Blue means nothing but sea, water. Okay? So blue intelligence. So what has to be done? Scaling climate resilient aquaculture. Resilience means to make it protective. Okay? Scaling climate resilient aquaculture with artificial intelligence and real-time data. Boys and girls, you please listen to this. You're having lot of opportunities in this field. Okay. So before that, what actually you and me are doing? Baseline index of food production. You have to listen to this. What is baseline index of food production? A baseline index approximately 30 to 40%. Now it is estimated. In the concept of food production usually refers to the widely cited alarming statistic that approximately 30% to 40% of food supply in developed nations is never eaten. Please listen to this. Please read to the first sentence. 30% to 40% of food in developed nations is never eaten. What does it mean? Lot of food that is produced is thrown into landfills. You know landfills, where the large garbages are thrown into, that is called as a landfill. You see this image. This is how the food that is produced, whether it is food from agriculture or food from aquaculture, about 30 to 40% is dumped in landfills, which is not eaten at all. It's an alarming statistic. And there are countries which are categorized based on the adaptive capacity. So here, the entire world map is given, and the countries are divided into 6 types. The dark blue color shows the countries which have high adaptive capacity. That means even though there is an impact of climate change on aquaculture, those countries which are dark blue shaded, they can sustain. And what about the least one, gray? The least one is said to be red. The red, they are having low adaptive capacity. So what makes the highly developed countries higher adaptive? So there are few things. Why America or any other country which is highly developed like China, we have heard about the first session, why they are able to adapt to the newly changed climate? Because of the reason that the government is very strong with respect to certain regulations, and they have adopted advanced technology, they have financial resources, and the climate resilient infrastructure is provided, and lot of research, as Sridhar said, is going on in this aspect, and there are early warning systems in the form of artificial intelligence. And what about the other countries? The other countries are less adaptive or moderately adaptive. Why? Because compared to them, we have limited financial resources, our infrastructure is weak, we have low technological support, because many of you degree students are either going for teachers or constables, like that. No one is opting, no one is want to become an entrepreneur. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you can create a lot of things that can add to the economy of the nation. And there is a higher vulnerability to climate stressors in certain regions. Okay. And what actually this is relevant, whether it is relevant to aquaculture or not. So, countries with adaptive capacity, they are said to be resilient to climatic change because of these things. One is use selective breeding, invest in resilient infrastructure, shift species or shift farming systems, and lastly, nothing but the application of AI-based monitoring. I will quickly run through the first three and will give a detailed account of about AI-based monitoring. Hardly in 15 minutes I am going to close. Please listen to it carefully. So selective breeding. So what selective breeding is? It is a process of choosing parent fish with desirable traits and breeding them to produce offspring with improved performance. For example, I want a fish. We know fishes are poikilothermic. That means their body temperature changes with respect to the temperature of the surrounding environment. Okay. So if there is a temperature fluctuation, if the same fluctuation here, it may not be able to sustain itself. So is there any chance to make it temperature, if it is a stenohaline organism, I may introduce a gene into that so that it become a urethermal organism, stereothermal to urethermal. Likewise, a slight change in salinity. Sir said 35 ppt, isn't it, sir? 35 ppt is required. What happens if the ppt is gone down to 29 or 28? It may not live. So we have to maintain the salinity. What if the organism itself becomes a saline tolerant? So we have to select those kind of breeds and we can use it for aquaculture production. This is the first thing. And the second thing is investment in resilient infrastructure. So we are having in Titli and Hudud, many aquaculture hatcheries are said to be flooded, isn't it? So what we have to do is, we have to elevate them, or we have to form embankments, or we have to make drainage system for the flood water. So these are what the things, small things, just infrastructural changes that can cope up with the changing climate conditions. And the third one is shifting species or shifting farming systems. What is shifting species? Moving from normal organisms to heat tolerant species. For example, there is a trout. This organism is said to be cold water animal, and we can move from cold water trout to tilapia, which can suit itself to the highly high temperature conditions. Likewise, we can produce disease resistant strains, salinity tolerant species, and also we can change the farming system also. Okay. And I would like to run through quickly few of these slides. Please listen. All the images that I am showing here are created with a prompt through artificial intelligence only. All these are multi-layered. These are not simple images, they are multi-layered. That means about 3 to 5 statistical data are given, and based on which this is said to be generated. When we watch this, population versus food production, what actually aquaculture is meant for? We all feel that it is only meant for food. So if that is the case, is it going to meet? The world population in 1961, it is only 3 billions approximately, and now it is about 8 billions, which is going to become in 2050 9.6 billions, and by 2075 it is going to become 10.3 billions. So there is going to be enormous surge in population, and scientists say that population always is a sigmoid curve. It should assume a plateau, but till 75 it is going on like J-shaped curve, and after 75 it is going to assume a plateau. And what about the people at that time? Can we provide food for all of them? 10.3 billion people. And aquaculture is having every potential to to meet those demands. Even if you're a vegetarian or non-vegetarian, aquaculture fulfills that. And coming to the aquaculture production, there is a comparison of world and India. In world, in 2013, there are 70 million tons, which increased in 2022 to 94 million tons. And compared to world, in India, it's only about 5 million tons approximately in 2013. In about a span of 9 years, it is doubled to 11 million tons. And CAGR, cumulative annual grade, what we call rate, is set to growth rate, cumulative annual growth rate when compared to the world, which is 3.6, is about 9.67%. That means the maximum tonnage is more in the entire world. Maybe it is shown as less, about 11 million tons only, but the growth rate per annum cumulative is said to be 3 times more than that of the world. That means India is fast growing in aquaculture.